one.
Are you ready to ice fish?
Let's go.
Are you? Are you ready?
It's coming.
I'm telling you. It's
coming.
No, it's not coming. We got an update from Eric Alley that there is one guy apparently out ice fishing in the mountains. So your ice fishing season has officially begun, and it started right here at the SmackDown Outdoors 2022 virtual ice fishing show, brought to you by Clam Outdoors, Glacier Ice Houses, and Thorn Bros. That is right. Thank you to our sponsors. We'll talk a little bit about them in a minute or so. But first, let's talk about these two guys. Let me get this right. Who are you again?
Not the Broken Line. I'm the Lone Angler.
Go ahead and introduce yourself so I don't mess it up.
Yeah, I'm Patrick from the Lone Angler podcast. I used to have a podcast called The Broken Line.
Yes.
It kind of that was many years ago. But I just do a fun little podcast about whatever. I have a little Unhooked series that I've done with Dale, and it's pretty fun. I just keep it casual, very casual.
Yeah,
pretty laid back.
And who are you?
And you are.
And you are.
And you are.
And you are.
I'm Dale Luganville. I host the Full Scale Outdoors podcast. Yeah, that's what I do. Same thing. Mine's very casual as well. But
it's outdoor related. Please, people out there that watch this, show these guys some love. Go subscribe and follow and all that good stuff. They help me out with this every year, and I do greatly appreciate it. These guys are like brothers to me. And if you don't believe that, I'll show you the messages that we send each other. Only brothers can send to each other.
Please don't.
and we fight.
Yeah.
Squabble.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Yes.
Big time. And if you've listened to Doug's show, you've heard me. You've heard Dale.
Yeah. And of course, I am Doug Glimmerbean. I am the owner and host of SmackDown Outdoors and SmackDown Outdoors podcast. It's not just this virtual show. No. It's also, I have a podcast where we talk outdoors and this and that and the other. So subscribe and download and all that good stuff. But we greatly appreciate it. And thank you guys for joining me. We've had fun. We've had a ball. This is the last day. Yeah. We've got our morning segment, and then we've got our afternoon segment that will, and then we'll wrap up the show. Let's talk sponsors for a second here as people are rolling in. Chantel is back. Chantel's been here all weekend long.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Since Friday.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Sponsors: Clam Outdoors started off the show at 8 on Friday, and Matt Johnson did a phenomenal job again. Clam's always coming out with a bunch of new stuff, revised stuff, improved stuff. Those new XT shacks with the taller door or taller ceilings, so hook sets, and in those little houses, it's nice to be able to stand up and stretch.
Stand up and use longer rods.
Yep, and it's just. They're always a good one to have on first because Matt's a professional. He knows what he's doing. They bring exciting things, and it's just a good way to start the show. And
it makes us comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. It gets us in a good mood. We had technical issues on our end during his segment. And I'm like, I trust him to do his thing. He'll keep talking until we interrupt him. So I'll do what I need to do. He handled it awesome, like a pro. But it makes it very easy on us. So thank you to Matt. And also, Clam Outdoors, they support the fishing community like no other. It's just amazing, especially the ice fishing community, the way that they, took a chance on us to be able to do this. It's humbling that a company like that of that size goes, yeah, we trust you to do this. And 3 years later, they're still doing it.
Look at how many organizations we've had in here, and they're involved with most of them, if not all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
So big thank you to Clam Outdoors. Of course, big thank you to Glacier Ice Houses.
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about the company. In the way that they treat their employees. And not only that, it's a direct reflection about the products that we build too.
Yeah.
Good
quality houses.
Yeah. We have dealerships all across Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota. We have, I think we still have a dealership out in Upper New York and stuff. So it's we're expanding all the time, but it doesn't change the quality of our houses.
Yeah. So thank you to Glacier very, very much. Once again, been here all 3 years. It's just awesome. So Thorne Brothers, Dale, I'm going to let you take Thorne Brothers.
I would love to take Thorne Brothers. There's awesome stuff in this store. This is like, they've helped us out from the beginning. Even last year, the first time we set up here. We are here at Thorne Brothers. So if you're in the area from 10 till 5, basically the end of our show, we line that one up good. Stop on in because we're giving away a Kishler custom ice fishing rod for those of you that come in, name, number, that's all we need, and we're giving it away. And there's not many entries yet. There's a nice day. I'm sure everybody people have been busy, so you got a Halloweening and you got a very, very good chance of winning. So after your Halloween hangover wears off, come on down to Thorne Brothers here in Blaine. Check it out. And that's today, Sunday. We'll be giving that away at the end of the show. So they're awesome. This place is my favorite tackle shop. I've said before, I will literally go out of my way to come here. I'll drive by others. Patrick's fly angler list is about this long.
And the basket is starting to get a little full. I'm starting to get a little nervous. I think I have enough money to get back home.
What's the scientific term? Like when the water bubbles over the glass. Whatever that term is. That's your basket's doing that with fly gear. So no, they're awesome, and they're super accommodating. And every time you come in here, knowledgeable. Always do you have any questions? If you make 1 or 2 passes down an aisle, somebody will be like, any questions? Can I help you find anything? Yeah, they're awesome. And the fact that they've come in early for us, that's way huge. Early for us. They don't open till 10, and we were here inside the building at 7:15 this morning. Last night, 3 or 4 hours after they closed. So they've been super, super accommodating, helpful, supportive, everything. So big thank you to Thorne Brothers. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, thank you to all of you at home. Share the live stream because we've got giveaways for all of you that share it at home. Make sure if you can, share it from the SmackDown Outdoors Facebook page. That's the easiest way for us to pull the names and whatnot, and change that share to public so we can see that you shared. It's just in the settings on the top there. Otherwise, if we can't see that you shared, can't put your name in to draw anything. So, but share as many times as you want. Let's get this thing rocking. Comment where you are from, what state you're from.
Can I give one more thank you?
Yep. Go ahead.
I want to thank all the companies that have come over from the other sports show.
Yes.
Good call.
Fighting this, what I've heard is construction. I've heard it's a 45-minute drive when it shouldn't be.
Yep.
So big thank you to everybody that's the guys that have come in and shown their cool products.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Why don't you run through the morning lineup there to let people know what they got coming to them?
We have Norfin coming up, Horn Dog Maps, Euro Tackle, BassKhange. I'm pretty excited about that one. See if they got any new.
They've got a new product.
They got new stuff.
They've got a new product. Yeah.
That dude's a genius.
Yep.
And St. Croix Rods. That's our first segment.
Yep. But first and foremost, we are going to start with Mr. Josh Giddings. And this is another foundation organization that helps out your vets He is a representative of Warriors on Quiet Waters Foundation. They're out of Montana. And I had one of their guys on my podcast before, and I just think it's a great organization, helping out the vets. And it's a fly fishing deal. So Patrick, I'm sure you'll pay attention to this one.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so into it.
Yep.
I'm
let's
convinced.
see. Before we get to him, we got one from Wyoming checking in. Doug from Wyoming.
Yeah, that's our first Wyoming.
David Burkholder is from inside a nuclear reactor. So he's if you don't need to buy.
He's working on glow jig.
I was gonna say you don't need to buy a glow cup. Just take David fishing with you. And Tony says they need to learn the back roads. Yeah, it is. We've got Saskatchewan, Canada. Robert Haas checking in. Thanks for checking in from Canada. We greatly appreciate it. So let's bring in Josh. If he's ready, just give me a big thumbs up, sir. Bam. And boom. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
Very well. Very well.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. No, like I said, I've had someone from you guys on my personal show before, and I think it's a great organization. And I'll tell you what, their lodge, their accommodations, it's one of those, you look at that Facebook post, would you live here if you didn't have a cell phone for a month? And I just reply, I would live there for the rest of my life with nobody else.
I keep with a pillow and a blanket. They keep kicking me out.
he just goes up over the next ridge and waits till they leave, runs in there. It's fantastic. So, all right, so let's give a little bit of a background on you, and then kind of how you got involved with it, and then we'll let you run with the organization itself.
Copy that. Long story short on that, I actually ran into Colonel Hastings, who is the founder, more or less, of Warriors Quiet Waters. I ran into him at a gas station super early one morning. He was up heading out for a fly fishing trip, and saw the name and the logo on the side. I asked him what he was about, and he told me about the program, which, I love to support vets as well. I'm not a veteran myself. I'm just a civilian like most. And, I kind of kept that in the back of my head. I later took a job as a ranch manager on a ranch that had some beautiful, beautiful waters. And the owner of that ranch wanted me to reach out through the community and kind of help out and share that a little bit. And he was my first thought. So I looked him back up, got in touch with Warriors Quiet Waters, a fellow named Jesse. And, we got the guys out there on private water out there, and we're able to give them a fantastic experience with some pretty good fishing out there. So that's kind of how I got started with them. Personally, I'm not a big fly fishing guy myself. I was born and raised in Michigan. I do a lot of salmon and steelhead fishing growing up, but my big thing was always ice. So once they started that program, that's when I kind of reconnected and really took off with helping out.
All right. So let's go over the organization. Little bit of background on how, maybe if you know how it started, and then what it is all about and what they do.
Right on. So, a quick rundown on how it got started was Colonel Eric Hastings, Marine Corps Colonel. He's a Vietnam veteran that flew in Vietnam. He was often cut. He would cut the rivers through the jungles. And I guess while he was up there, it reminded him a lot of being back home in Montana, looking at his home waters. And at night, he kept that in the back of his head and kind of dreamed of being back on his waters. So when he got home, one of the first things he did in 1969, he dropped the fly back in the water and started fishing pretty hard, and realized how much it really helped him find clarity and kind of reconnect with home and civilian life. And himself, as well as Dr. Steele, realized that it actually did do a lot of good for his soul, for his mind. And so 2007, they got together with a pile of volunteers, and they took a group of 14 guys out on the rivers with some world-class guides. They gave them the top-of-the-line gear and just showed them a phenomenal trip, and realized at the end of this how much it really helped and how much it proved to do some good for these men and women. And that was kind of the birth of how it got going. They had this vision. They found a working model, and by 2008 they were already making preparations to enhance this and to continue it to grow, which it's grown into. I think it's helped over 1,300 participants at this point.
Nice.
Wow.
And a lot of those guys, they're repeat, right? Like, it's not just a one and done. I mean, they bring these men and women back over and over to help them, give them the opportunity to find peace of mind, be out on the water and clear their heads and really reconnect with life. I mean, so many of these veterans are 20-year, they're 20-year military guys and gals. They didn't really have a life outside of that. So to find what they needed to do or where they wanted to be or what gave them joy in life can be very difficult. So this is a fantastic opportunity to really help them find that in life and help them grow as individuals, while at the same time gaining a great family of people and support that just give them the tools to move forward.
Yeah. And it's nice because it's not, it's like with all these other organizations, me and you, we're not vets. We don't understand, what these guys have gone through. So getting them together with other like-minded people that have gone through very similar, if not the same things. I talked about it when Tony Tessing was here yesterday. That's what really helps them, because they go, okay, there's somebody who understands me.
Yeah.
So that helps with that way more than we can go, okay, what happened? We don't know. We don't know. No, we
Right.
know, but we don't understand, actually, is what I should say.
That's it. Even hearing some of the guys that want to tell their stories, I mean, I could sit there and I can only fathom, to the best of my imagination, what that was really like. So
yeah. All right, so let's talk about kind of the what they do. The trips or the events and stuff like that.
So they really cover a huge array, especially since Colonel Brian Gilman has come in. He's really kind of ramped it up and started to really move forward with running a lot more groups of people through. So I mean, they bring in obviously veterans, but they also bring their families, and they give them a week-long experience of hitting a ton of different waters, a ton of different outdoor activities. We start with fly fishing 101 and move them through 2 ponds, get them going there, and then we move down the rivers and drift boats and really give them the full experience. And they give great meals at night. The moms are fantastic. The meals I'm pretty jealous of. I'm very happy when I get to show up for those. Those are just amazing. And but it's just an all around safe environment that allows, like you say, it allows that individual to really reconnect with some of his brothers and sisters and with his family, and really just find a purpose and a meaning moving forward. I've met a lot of these guys that they come back. Some they've actually hired, and so they're working in the program to help their fellow brothers and sisters in the military. And even for me being there on some of these trips, I mean, I've got connections with these guys. I talk to them on a monthly basis sometimes. So helps kind of reconnect with the civilian world and take their focus off the mission that they had and help them move forward in life.
Yeah. I want to, hopefully this works here and it shows up okay for those at home, but this is the lodge.
Whoa.
I mean, come on, man. If you can't leave your worries at home by going to that place, I can't help you.
I kind of want to go make some worries just so I can go there and get rid of them.
Beautiful. Past the gate, beyond that, you're on your own.
Yeah, I mean, what an absolute gorgeous place, and it's all handicap accessible too. They built that and made sure that there's no problems there. And
say hi to John Dutton for me. Good Lord, look at that place.
Just an absolute gorgeous place, 5-star, and it's it's awesome.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
No, and that's when you say the handicap accessible, a lot of the men and women that they bring on this, man. I mean, missing 1, 2, 3 limbs. I mean, it's impressive the lengths they go to get literally everybody out here to enjoy this.
Yeah. And it's hard to cover everything a lot of these organizations do in 10, 15 minutes or whatever. So you can always look into them and this and that and the other. But are there any? I mean, is there is it just military wounded, or anybody that's been in the military? Who would qualify and who wouldn't?
So typically it's post 9/11 combat veterans.
Okay.
And typically, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily physical. I mean, they also cover the mental aspect of it too. So, a lot of vets that are coming home, I mean, we get 200,000 a year, I think, are retiring out of the military post 9/11. And out of that, nearly half of them find it difficult to kind of reacquaint with civilian life. So it really covers, it's a multifaceted deal that really covers all aspects of, from, missing limbs to missing part of your mind, kind of, so to speak, so it really touches on it all.
Yeah. No, it's a great organization, and talking with, actually I had Jesse on my show. Talking with him further enhances how good of an organization and the people behind it, great guys. I've talked to a few of them since then. So, no, it was a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you guys on and help promote it. 'Cause there's not enough organizations like this. And for one, and then for two, it's nice to have you guys are very different because of, I mean, you open up the back door of that lodge and you look out and it's just immediately calming, and you do the fly fishing, Hometown Heroes does fishing, ice fishing, hunting, things like that. Tom Fishing for Life, he does, his camps and tournaments and what everybody does is things a little bit different. So if you've ever thought about doing starting your own organization, start it, get a hold of some of these other ones. I'm sure they'd be willing to help out. Maybe you can even become a branch of theirs. But there's not enough of these organizations because we've still got way too many people that end up, becoming one of the 22 a day. And these organizations, if they can only help one or two, that's one or two more than we had before. So we greatly appreciate it. Let us know how people who want to volunteer, want to sign up to be part of one of these trips, or just want to help in general. Let them know where to go and how to do that.
Right on. Yeah. So, I mean, Warriors Quiet Waters has a fantastic website, super easy to run through. We also have Facebook pages. As far as the volunteer, you got Warriors Quiet Waters Volunteering is a Facebook group, and you can jump on there. I think we do a couple hundred volunteers a year, myself included in that. Casey is our volunteer lead. She is fantastic to reach out to. We have phone number on the website. There's also, you can click on the participants. So if it's something that you're interested in doing as a military vet, or if maybe your loved one is somebody, you can reach out. And, also, we do donations. I mean, this is a completely nonprofit organization, so it runs solely on donation and raising money through those aspects to continue to provide this fantastic journey for these military men and women that are coming home.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Josh, thanks for joining us. By the way, folks, he's 2 hours behind us. So it's 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. So, yeah. Or wait, no, you're in North Dakota, right?
Well, I'm actually, no, I'm at 7:30. So Central Time.
7:30.
But,
yeah, well, either way, it's still early on a Sunday morning, so I appreciate you joining us very much. Warriors and Quiet Waters. So Warriors and quietwaters.org is the website. So please, everybody, go check that out and donate, help out, volunteer, or if you are somebody who would qualify for taking advantage of this, please do. And remember, if you need to talk to somebody, you can now call, you can now text 988. Okay, so please, if you need to talk to somebody, or you need to text somebody, whatever it is, 988. So please do that for us. Do that, of course, do it for yourself. But just remember, there's somebody that will listen to you and somebody that does care. So with that being said, Josh, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Tell everybody I said hello, and have a good, great ice fishing season.
I appreciate that. And you guys ever want to get out this way and play, you let me know.
Yeah, Jesse keeps bugging me. It's I gotta figure out when I can get out there.
Right on. Well, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. All right, there you go. Warriors, and I said on Quiet Waters earlier. It's Warriors and quietwaters.org. Yeah, I mean, just getting out there and having that view.
Oh yeah,
I could imagine how mind clearing that is.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, talking with Jesse, having him on the show before, it's great. I mean, it's great organization. Just like everybody else we've had on, they all do their part to help out. People that signed a piece of paper that said, "Hey, government, I'm willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for the country. Do what you tell me to for however many years it is." I mean, they're signing their lives away for us. Mm-hmm. and this country. So the least we can do is help these organizations in any even small ways. That's the least we can do.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got Matthew Lardenois. Morning, Hudson, Wisconsin. Go. I'm not saying that. No. Not saying that.
Go to the bottom of the NFC North,
not
maybe.
Saying that. Skol Vikings, let's win this game.
That's a super true statement right there.
Jeanette, that's a cool story. Fishing is truly healing. It is 100%. 100%. Utah Mike, he's showing up again. There you go. What's up, Utah Mike? Wyatt Anderson, good morning. Fargo, North Dakota, checking in. And we got Brian McCullough checking in. He's got the bacon,
bacon eggs
and some coffee. Awesome. Good morning, Chris Ball. How are you, sir? And Daniel Johnson's checking in. We got Blake Tollefson coming in, and we're going to talk a little Norfin. It's like the Blake show this morning because he's taking care of Norfin, and then Mitch will be here for Horn Dog Maps, and then Blake comes back talking Euro Tackle. And then we got BassKhange, who is going to be joining us virtually from the show in Ramsey. So hopefully it's not too noisy. We'll see what happens. And the internet's good, but who knows? He's not next to the trout pond.
Yeah.
But I know they've got a new product that they're gonna show. And then Blake comes back again with St. Croix rods.
Yep.
So nice. So anyway, share the live stream and thank you all for joining us on a Sunday morning as we look out the window here. And it's
absolutely gorgeous.
I'm honestly not mad if you're out deer hunting this morning.
Or fishing.
Well, good luck for anything moving. I mean, it's so nice.
It's dead calm, not a cloudless
here's the
sky.
Thing. It's super nice. You should come in the studio because ducks aren't going to move today. Deer aren't moving today.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing moving today. It's nice. Unless you're going fishing.
Yeah.
And whatever. F you. But Chris is out there. He didn't get any muskies yesterday. So good luck today if you're headed back out, buddy.
Yeah. Yep. So share the live stream. Get entered in to win a bunch of stuff. We got Lewis checking in. Hello
fishing
from Iowa, fishing from a boat and listening, hitting crappies with a Z vibe. Oh, I know Blake's gonna like that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So whenever Blake is ready, just give us a thumbs up. It looks a little choppy.
It looked like a thumbs up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it?
Wave your hand, Blake.
Wave your hand. Chris Ball's heading out fishing this morning.
Nice.
Yep.
Already.
All right, Doug.
Ice. Wait, what?
Hold on.
Oh, we got a private chat. Am I choppy?
Already on ice out here.
You look okay, right? A little choppy, yeah, Blake. A little choppy. If you're on Blake, if you're on one type of internet, switch to the other one. Wi-Fi to the other thing to the other thing. See how that works.
Yeah, there's ice fishing has started.
Yeah, let's go back to that for a second.
Bighorns.
Ice fishing is headed back on here. Good luck. Wyoming. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, try something else. All right, we'll wait for Blake to figure that out. Shannon Cruz in the building. Morning, gents. Morning, sir. All right, Blake, whatever you're on right now looks pretty good. Yeah, that's we can see you moving down there nice and smooth.
Oh,
so let's try it out. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Yep. All right, you ready? Bring you in. No, whether he's there we go.
Welcome, Max Headroom.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good. Hey, we're good. There we go. How are you, sir?
Good. Hopefully it's not too choppy. I can always switch to a hotspot if I have to. So we'll see.
Nope, you're perfect right now. You're perfect.
Yep. All right. Well,
all right.
No promises that's not going to change. So
yeah, that's all good. So we're talking Norfin. First,
Yes.
let's talk, and just so everybody knows, I'm on the Norfin staff, so I am super biased. Dale is too.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're super biased, but here's the thing: like Pete with Cold Nation Outdoors, he was a customer first. I was a customer first because
100%. Both of you guys were.
Yeah. So I needed some new boots. I tried out the boots, fell in absolute love with them. And then, got on, talked to Blake, and he's like, hey, work out a staff thing. Cool. And I said, Blake, look, I'll try the suits, but I'm not going to promote them until I wear them and I believe in them. Otherwise, I'll still push the boots. Tried the suits, love them. So I'm not just a staffer, a homer. I am a true believer in these products.
It's the boots that brought me over, too, because a bunch of people in Minnesota Made had got them. And I was like, dude, you pick one up and you're like, these things don't weigh anything.
Yeah.
Like, and the amount of miles we put in on the ice popping holes, I'm like, I have to have those.
Yeah. So let's start out talking supply and supply chain and all that mess that was last year for everybody, including Norfin. We? Geez, Patrick.
Sorry.
Holy
My
cow.
bad. That came out of nowhere. My bad.
Sorry. Okay. How are we this year as far as supply goes?
So far, everything's very good. So we ran into a ton of issues last year. The suits I'm going to talk about, I talked about a lot of these last year. We didn't end up getting them. Fortunately, we have all of them in stock for this year. Boots stocks are doing very well there too. I believe we're in 60 new retailers across the Midwest this year.
Nice. So, I know they got the Klondike 2s, which are the two cleated version, which Blake will show us. They're here at Thorne Brothers, and they've also got the hunting boot, the camo hunting boot here too. So if you still need a pair, there you go.
Yep, so that's good. And for people who don't know, so Norfin is based overseas. They're a really, really popular brand in Europe and Asia. And overseas, what they do a lot of is a lot of outdoor products. But one of kind of their highlights, I guess, is that they design and build the ice suits for many of the competitive ice teams. So that includes even Team USA. They've been in the U.S. selling since 2019. And I think, obviously, most people know them for the boots, but we have suits, we have socks, we have lots of thermals, tons of different options.
Yep. All right. I'll let you go ahead and we'll start running through the products.
Doug, are you able to pull that email that I sent you?
Oh,
if not, I just want to make sure I don't have every product. So I'd like to go through, we got enough time. I think I can go through every product.
Yeah. I'll pull that up if you want. Okay. If you kind of start going through what you have, and I'll pull that up.
Yep. Let's start with the suits. So we're going to kind of work from the bottom up. And this is the Norfin Element Float. This is the third year we've had this suit. Main advantage to this suit is it's just simple. Doesn't come with a lot of frills. It's a float suit. It comes as a package deal, so you get the bibs and the jacket for under $300, which in this day and age is kind of unheard of. Fantastic, like late fall suit. You can definitely wear this throughout the entire winter as well. You just need one suit. This is probably the suit I would recommend for you. I believe this one is rated down to -15, if I remember right. Next one in the lineup. This is a brand new one here. This is part of the Element family. This is called the Element Plus Float. So very, very similar to the Element. Basically just has some added insulation. So this one's rated down to -35 instead of -15 with the regular Element Float. And again, this comes as a package deal. So you're getting both the bibs and the jacket. I think this one is just over $320. So I think it's $325, $329. So that's kind of our Element family. That's our entry level, our package deals. With the rest of the suits that I'll talk about, They all come separate, whether you buy the or you can buy whatever size bib you'd like, whatever size jacket you'd like. So the one downfall to the elements, I would say, is if you buy a large, you're getting large both. If you buy a medium, you're getting medium both. With the other suits that we have, you're able to actually choose those those sizes. So the next suit we have, and this has been kind of our feature suit for the last couple of years. This is the Extreme 5. The difference with this suit and all of our other suits is that it does not come with float material inside. Extremely warm, extremely light. This is my personal favorite suit in the lineup, just simply because it's so light. Like I said, the bibs and the jacket do come separately. Bibs have insulation throughout the whole leg. There is removable knee inserts, and in the back here, you can zip that open and add. You want to put like a pad or something back there as well.
I've got that. Let's try this this file here. See if this will. There we go. There we go.
I know
Go to the next. I'm gonna go to the next page. Next page. So yes, we basically started there. You can skip on to the next one. Next one. Go all the way. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're gonna go in that order. We'll go into that, I guess. I was gonna say that one for last. I didn't realize it's how they had that structure.
Okay.
So this is our kind of our feature suit for the year. This is the Explorer Camo. This is a float suit, and it's also super warm. The jacket does not have heating elements, but the bibs do have heating elements.
Yep.
So.
And we're actually showing this on screen, so you don't even have to.
Oh, you don't even need to pull it up. Okay, that works.
Yep. So we got her on screen. Everybody's watching there.
Okay. So, like I said, the bibs and the jacket both have float material in them, but the bibs also have a heating element as well. So basically, there's just a little. I'm gonna go to the next page there, Doug. I think we'll get a close up on that. You can see where there's the heating elements there across kind of the belly and then the upper thighs. So basically, right near there, you can see that FLT light logo on there. There's a pocket that has a little USB cable. So you just plug in anything that can run a portable battery pack, plug that in there, and you're good to go. You can move on to the next suit there.
Okay. There's some more, and yeah, this is actually a really comfortable suit. So,
yes, it is. So there's the Extreme 5 that I was talking about before. Really, the thing with the Extreme 5, it doesn't have float, which is obviously an advantage in some situations and a disadvantage in others. I mentioned that I really like this suit simply because it's a lot lighter than other suits that have that level of warmth. So if you're looking for something that just to keep you warm, you're not worried about necessarily going through the ice, going into a situation where you need that flotation. This is kind of the suit for you. And this is what a lot of our, like our Team USA, a lot of our tournament anglers on the team, they're all wearing the Extreme 5 suit, and they were wearing the Extreme 4 prior to that.
Yep. Just saying outdoors, they're saying their float suit looks super comfortable. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about their suits is that you can move in it. It's not restricting. And Norfin suits, when I first put it on, I didn't realize how heavy all other suits were.
Yeah.
It made a big difference. It did.
Yeah, a huge difference. So you're not, walking around all day and you feel like you've been wearing, weights on your shoulders and everything all day. I mean, it's lightweight, and you don't realize it until you put it on and you're like, oh my God, like I didn't realize how heavy my other suits were.
Yeah, and again, from a tournament standpoint, those boots mixed with, and I have the Extreme 5 too, it's that extra weight is huge.
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah, you don't really realize you're wearing an ice fishing suit.
I've also taken the liner out of mine, so I've reduced the overall weight I wear on tournament day.
Yep.
And now this is just my nice coat.
Yep. Chantel, yep, just wait, Chantel. Just hold on.
Yeah, keep watching.
Keep watching.
So if you want to go on to the two different liners there.
Yep. We'll make her.
So with the Extreme 5, you have an option for two different liners. Technically you can buy the suit without the liner. You can buy it with the standard liner, or we do have a heated liner option as well. And basically what I've done is I quit wearing my jacket. I just wear the liner all the time because it's plenty warm. Yeah. It's basically just a puffer coat. Like Dale said, it's a great all-around jacket too. That's what I wear going anywhere in the wintertime now.
Yep. And then we've got, there we go. There's the next one.
Yep. So that's the heated one. And basically there's just a pocket on the inside, plugs in with any sort of little battery pack. We do have some that work on the website. Otherwise, like I'm sure most people here probably have something that they take with them on the ice to charge their phone. You could run it off of that. Anything that that works with a USB.
Yep. Lewis, he's talking about, I'm looking for padding in the knees and wanted to hole hop which bibs are recommended. They've all got padding in them, but the nice thing is that you can actually add padding. So if it's not enough for you, you can take and you can add some padding to it, to make it more comfortable, which is very, very nice because they don't all do that. Other companies don't do that. So once the padding is worn out in that one spot that your knee keeps hitting, you're kind of screwed. So you can actually replace or add or subtract padding as you go. Yes. All right. Let's see. Here you go, Chantel. Here you go.
Yep. So this is the women's suit. For the first time, we had women's suit. My wife wore this last year. She really, really liked it. She's worn other brands in the past, and in her opinion, this was very well tailored to women. Like the fit, it's definitely a different fit than the men's suits. So it was designed to fit women. Like I said, she was a big fan of it. It is a float suit, but this is more similar to our Element line where it's only rated down to -15. So it's not as warm as the Extreme 5 or the Explorer. But
yeah, if you're out there -15, you're a die hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's exciting. And we finally have a women's offering, which is great.
Yep. All right, and there's kind of some pictures there. They don't make a green in it for America. It comes in that, is that a blue and a pink or what?
Yes, it's a navy blue and like a purpley pink.
Okay,
it looks a little more purple in person versus that picture.
Okay,
is that a fuchsia?
It's a fuchsia, magenta.
Yeah, whatever that is, we'll call it that.
yeah. We're guys, we don't know. So there you go. There's some pictures of it.
So
here we go.
Yeah, we'll talk through some of the fleeces and stuff too.
Yep.
We'll go through these quickly.
I absolutely love the fleece jacket, and so does my wife. She stole one from me and won't give it back.
Yeah, it's just a great layering piece. Obviously, if you have a company that focuses around ice fishing, you can't just focus on boots and suits. You need to have layering items as well. That's obviously a big, part of the solution to staying warm is having proper layering materials. So we have a couple different fleeces. This is the Onyx jacket. We've had that for 3 seasons. This is one we added last year. So this goes well with the Explorer suit, the fleece Glacier Camo. It doesn't have the hood, but it's a great layering piece. And I know a lot of the guys just wear this around in the fall or the spring as kind of their jacket too.
Yep. Let's see here. And this is another one of my favorites. You see people in sweatpants running around outside. Well, this is my winter sweatsuit. Super comfortable, super lightweight. It's got the fleece. It's not a suit that looks like you're wearing you go out in sweatpants and it's like, oh, that guy's got sweatpants on. This looks like one step above that, kind of thing. It's lounge wear, but under layer, but you can wear it outside without thinking that people are going to look at you funny.
We'll make all the girls thirsty.
Yeah.
Like gray sweatpants, apparently.
Yeah, it's super warm. You can wear it when you're running in and out of the house or whatever, when you're fishing or use it as a base layer. If it is super cold, it just adds another really nice layer. But myself, the Polar Line 2 is fantastic.
Yeah, you said it better than I could have there. So
there we go.
Hey,
when it comes to certain things that I use and I love, I'll take it and run with it. I mean, you know.
You want to go back to that slide, Doug?
Yep.
I want to talk through that so people understand. When you're looking at the Norfin product line, you're going to notice different colors kind of across the board, whether you're looking at boots or suits or thermals or socks. Basically, we don't have much for green here, especially in the winter products. We do have green in in some of the summer lines. So you're going to see yellow, orange, and red. Yellow suits would be something like the Element or the Element Element boots. And we have orange, which would be like the Element Float, the Discovery, or the Klondike. And then we have the Extreme Cold, which would be for things like the Extreme 5 or the Yukon. And so basically, if you look at the color, you know, okay, yeah, this is rated for cold, and this is rated for very cold, or this is rated for extreme cold. Yep. And so you'll see that across basically our entire product line, yellow, orange, or red. Just kind of helps people determine, okay, yeah, this is rated for what I need it for, or yeah, that's going to be too warm for this situation.
Yep. All right, let's go here. The base layers.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. They're comfortable, and then since they changed them a little bit in the past couple of years, and they've gotten more comfortable. You don't sweat and it does. Well, you might sweat, but it actually wicks the sweat away from you, like people say. So you do stay dry, so which means you stay warmer. I'm a big fan of the base layers as well.
Yeah. So, and you'll see when you're looking at these products, especially if you look on our website, you'll see this is rated for active situations. So this would be like the run and gun type of fisherman who's fishing outside of a shack a lot of times. This is kind of the ideal thermal set for you. If you want to move on to the next one, this is one of the ones that's rated for like extreme cold. Maybe you're a guy who is fishing in a shack sometimes. You're fishing outside sometimes. Or if you're just going to be sitting on a bucket outside, that's where something like this would come into play because it's a more of a moderate activity level. Even deer hunting, that's where these come into play for me a lot. You're not moving around a lot. It can be extremely cold. Of course, it's not this year, but
yeah.
This is a great option for that as well.
Yeah, the Nord Classic is an extremely warm base layer system.
Yes.
When you feel this versus the previous one, the Nord Active, the Classic, you just feel it and you go, okay, it is thicker, it is heavier, not like weight wise, but it's a thicker, warmer. And if you are just sitting there in a tree stand, like coming up on gun season here in Minnesota, this is what I'll be wearing. It just holds that heat in way better. So when it gets super cold out, this is a great system to start with underneath, because no matter what clothing company you go with, it's all about the layers you use. So you got to make sure you have the right layers.
Yes.
And something like this, when it's super cold out, that's exactly where to start. So, boom.
And then this doesn't fit in super well with the ice line. This would be more of like a very early season or very late season where you just wanted that little bit of extra layer. But in the thick of it, I wouldn't recommend.
Or if you're a real, or if you're somebody who's kind of warm blooded anyway, but you want you run hot anyway, but you need a little bit of lining. This would be a good one.
Yes, that's a good point. But definitely, the other two are great for most of the winter.
Yep. All right. Let's. There you go. We got ladies too. We lost his video, but we got. I'll try to keep going myself here. We've got the thermal underwear for women. The base layers for ladies too. This one here is your moderate activity. It's for very cold, so it is. It's going to keep you nice and warm when it gets super cold out. He's working on the video. Blake, you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep. We're good.
Yep. And then this is basically the women's version of that black and orange one that we saw there first. Yep. Very, very similar to that.
Yep. All right. And then we go
just a handful of hats. You can skip through those. One thing I do want to talk about is that the mittens there.
The Glows Comfort Zip top right picture. Love these things.
Yeah. Can you guys still see me as well?
Yeah, let me pull you up bigger here. Boom.
Okay.
There you go.
So really the highlight to these mittens here is this feature here in the front. So you can still reach through and do what you need to do, but you're keeping your hands warm.
Yep.
And then here's kind of what the inside looks like. It's that reflective material. Keep things warm. So I throw a pair of hand warmers in here. And then there's a lot of guys who will just fish with these because you can still maintain contact with the rod. So that's like a great little feature on those. And then it does have these cool things here. You know, you can feel like you're a little kid again. You can't lose.
Yes. That's honestly, I mean, okay. Here's the thing: they keep your hands cold. You got the fancy zipper, but the little 5-year-old around the wrist thing is fantastic because what happens? Oh, I got to go grab this. You throw your gloves off, your choppers off, and what do? They go in the snow, and then they get snow inside of them. Your hands are wet, and da-da-da. I feel like a little kid out there, like, my gloves are hanging off my side. Thanks, Mom. But really, it's just a little thing that makes your day so much easier.
No, they're so great. You're tip up fishing or whatever, I'm tournament fishing, and my partner Joel, you know, he hollers. He's got a big fish on. I come running over there, and I just do the hockey throw. The gloves come off, and I can dig in and grab that fish. I don't have to, no muss, no fuss. But I want to talk about the material on the inside. I got those, and I was super skeptical.
Yep.
Because that, you know, it's kind of metallic-y or whatever. And if you don't have them on, when you first put your hand in there, they actually kind of feel cold right at first. And then in about 2.5 seconds, you're like, my hands are warm.
Yep.
How the heck? What kind of magic is this?
I need those because I froze my hands many years ago, and they're super sensitive.
Yep.
I don't even put like hand warmers in there. Just the reflection coming back on your own skin is so amazing.
Yep.
I love those mittens, dude. Those things are amazing.
They're awesome. Yep.
They are great.
Yep.
So the only other thing I wanted to mention here was that suit carry bag.
Yes.
It's great. It fits all of the suits. So it's just a great feature item. And that's the one thing that I never had before. I didn't know I needed it until I had it. Is just a bag to carry my suits around. You know, usually you just throw them in the back of the truck or whatever, but it's really nice. The top of that is kind of like a mesh, so it vents. You don't have to worry about moisture and stuff being in there. Just a handy little tool.
Yep. I've got one for my boots. I got 2 pair of boots in there. One of, you know, the Klondikes and the Yukons. I've got one for my base layers, and then I've got one for each one of my suits, and then I've got one with all my rain gear in it. You go, yeah, okay, I use a whatever kind of storage system for it, but it's like you put all this stuff, it keeps you organized. And you can fit it wherever. It's not a box. It's not a bin where like a lot of people throw their stuff.
Well, you got to look at me when you're talking about organization. We had this conversation yesterday.
Yes. They're cheap too. They're cheap. So go buy one, Dale. All right, let's keep working on it here because we got a few minutes left and we want to make sure we cover some boots for sure.
Just drop the presentation on and I'll go straight to the boots.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna work in order. This is the Element boot here. Basically, this boot is kind of your really early season boot or fall. You can use it as an all season boot because this does come out, and then you just have yourself a pair of rubber boots. So if you need a boot for kind of year round, I wouldn't recommend that for middle of winter. That's where these ones come into play. This is the Klondike 2.0 actually. Main difference here is we've added 2 cleats. And so these cleats are just retractable. So you just simply, hold on here, sorry.
Nope, you're good.
You simply just flip that down. And then when you're done using them, you flip them back up. And these ones are replaceable. You can see there's little screws there. So if one was to break, something was to get damaged, you can just buy an extra set. These are some of the warmest boots I've ever worn. There is one other that's warmer. That's why I'm not going to say they're the warmest. We do sell extra liners for these as well now too. So they're sized appropriately to the boot you have. Biggest thing with any of the boots is take the liners out after you're done using them. The way these boots are designed is to kind of wick the sweat away from your feet. So you're going to find that when you pull this out, it's going to almost feel just sopping wet at times on the outside. Throw that on a boot dryer, and you'll be good to go the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you pull that liner out at the end of the day and you look down in your boot and there will be moisture depending on how much you walk. There might be a puddle of sweat in the bottom of that boot, but your feet are dry.
Yes.
That liner does literally pull the sweat away from your foot, throws it outside the liner, and keeps your feet warm and dry. And to keep your feet warm, they have to be dry. If your feet get wet, I don't care how warm your boot's supposed to be, it's going to get cold. So
you're done.
They actually do what they say they do. So and as far as a boot dryer, I don't care what kind of boots you have, what kind of shoes you have, you really should be throwing all your boots and all your shoes on a dryer anyway overnight, because it's going to make your shoes and boots last longer.
So liners pop in and out really easy too. I want to bring that up because I've had boots in the past where it's just like once you take them out, then you put them back in and you're just like trying to tuck it in every corner and it never quite goes back. And then you got to fold rubbing against your heel or something stupid. I hate that.
Yeah.
They're obviously made to pop in and out, and they do so flawlessly.
What's the biggest size in the Klondikes? Do they go 14s?
Yep, we go to 14s.
All right, cool.
Down to 7.
Down to 7. Okay.
Yep, 7 to 14. And then this is kind of our warmest boot. We had this one last year. This is the Yukon. The main difference here that you're going to notice is just the construction. With the Klondike, it's kind of a 2-piece construction. This is a 1-piece construction. It does not have any cleats or anything on the bottom, but this is the freaking warmest boot I've ever had.
Yes.
I have no complaints about any of them, but this one, if it's really cold, this is fantastic. My feet get cold super easy, not with these.
Yep. And one of the biggest problems I've had with rubber boots in the past is that they leak at seams. There's no seams to leak from. So unless you physically put a hole in the boot, they're never going to leak.
And so these are the liners for the Yukons. It's just that reflective liner.
No.
We not sell extras of these, but we do sell extra liners for the Klondikes now. So you want to have an extra set. Maybe you don't have that opportunity to plug in a boot dryer, but you just want to have an extra set. It's a great opportunity for that.
Yeah.
Doubles as your moon boot for your Halloween costume if you're going as an 80s kid.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Patty's asking about ladies' boots. I'll just answer and just say possibly in the future. Yeah. They keep adding things. The more popular Norfin gets, they keep adding stuff. So
and you said they go down to a men's 7.
Men's 7.
That's pretty small.
Yep.
Yeah. So we do have in just the Klondikes down to 7.
Yep. So anything else quick?
The other thing I'll say is socks, I guess. We do have socks that kind of fit well with the boots too. So really cold situations. We got these ones. There's a set that's orange, so it's a little bit less warm, and then there's a set that's yellow, so even a little bit, warmer situations, I guess.
Yep. And I wear those. They're not itchy.
No, they're not. I just like wearing them around the house.
Yep.
There's like slippers.
They're comfortable. They're not itchy. So they're not the old school wools that are like, oh God, these things are annoying. No, I mean, they feel just like any other sock. So mix that with the boots and the base layers and the suits. And my flip over's been sitting for a long time. It's seriously lonely, and it might just end up moving itself out one day and finding a new home. I don't know, because this technology in the clothing just keeps getting better and better and better. So,
yes.
All right, Blake, we'll let you go for a little bit. We'll let you get set up for Euro Tackle. So we'll go through all that in a little while. The boots are in retailers kind of all over the place. Can you go on the website and find retailers?
Some of them are listed. If you have a question, just shoot us a message on the Facebook page and I can let you know. Hopefully we'll have a map or something on the website at some point, basically showing all the retailers.
Yep.
But I think it's right around 60 retailers this year. So that's a big jump from what we had last year. That's everything from boots to boots and suits, and some people have thermals. But the large majority have boots and a handful have suits.
And ordering online, they run pretty true to size, I've found.
Yep.
And one little tip I'll get, especially on boots. If you're 12, order a 13. And it's not because they come in small, it's that you want more room in your boot. You will be warmer. You constrict your foot's going to get cold.
Yep.
Another thing, SmackDown will get you 10% off the website. I will activate here shortly.
Awesome. So that's norfinusa.com.
Correct.
Yeah, 10% off. So order. How long are we running the code for?
We'll run it through the end of the week.
Perfect.
Good.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Blake. We'll see you in about 25 minutes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Blake. Thanks, man.
Good stuff.
Alan brought you a coffee.
All right. Oh, goodness gracious. Alan Kishler came in.
Coming in clutch yet again.
And we got coffee. Appreciate it, sir. We've also got our next guest sitting over there patiently. Thanks for showing up.
What's up, Mitch?
There you go. Good.
Oh, do I not have the right one on? Oh, it's not potted up. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Hey, you got me guys in a Blake Tollefson sandwich here. You're gonna make his wife jealous.
Well, you know, if you squint here, really
I
hard,
cannot compare.
They kind of look a little bit. I mean, I'm squinting as hard. Go ahead.
Not quite.
Yeah, what's up, bud? How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for putting this on again for us.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. Big things over at Horn Dog Maps. First and foremost, thank you, sir. $250
That's
gift
right.
card.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
So share this, share it often, and you know, let's see somebody get kicked out of a Facebook group this weekend. We're still waiting for a message for that.
Right.
That's right. I got to make them a plaque because my personal page, I keep going to Facebook jail. So, you know,
yeah. Facebook. Yeah.
There should be an award. There's so many people get booted off Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, who's been booted off the most? There should be like number one.
Yeah. Put in the comments how many times have you been put in Facebook jail? Seriously,
I'm up to 4.
Yeah.
Number one
Are you
Facebook
really?
offender of 2022.
I have since I've been on Facebook since 2012, and back in the day I was wild. And I know it's gotten worse how they watch things, but I've never been put in jail. I don't know how. I've slipped through the cracks. So yeah.
I've never done it personally, but the person who hacked my account and then posted some very not nice things got me permanently banned. So thanks for that.
Nice. Is that what happened? They posted some.
Well, it was under review. Yeah, they posted something. It got shut down, obviously violating community standards. And then there was a review. And of course, after the 3 weeks or whatever, the pictures are still good. Whatever they posted is still gonna be there. So they're gonna be like, "Yep, that was for the right reason, permanently banned." And there's nothing you can do. Yeah, I guess you can hire lawyers and stuff, but I'm not. They'll just start a new one, which is what I did.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, thanks for donating to the show here. Appreciate it. Dude, let's go over kind of like what you do, and then we'll kind of go over the new and exciting. And
so basically, unlike every other vendor you've had here, I'm not going to help you on the ice. I'm not going to help you in the open water. I'm not for fishing.
We debunked that the first year.
I didn't want to. I haven't seen anyone with a map on their dash of their boat or anything yet. But
no, but when they're at home and they're
when I go over to somebody's house and they've got that lake, I first go, okay, that lake, and then you just walk over and you kind of look, and since you can do some really customized things, including maybe some different little notes on those lakes, you can steal the information.
Right, exactly. So I'll just start off. This is the one that started it all. So this is the 3D laser cut lake maps that I make. They are from the bottom to the top. It's a dark blue gradient to a light blue. Just like as the water gets deeper, it gets darker. So I try to emulate that here a little bit. So the first thing you do is you go on my website or look around. You want to, what lake do I want? Right now I have about 750 lakes mapped and ready to go. And then go on my website. If you don't see it, shoot me a message. I will look it up for you. And it takes me about, at this point, I've got it down where I can get a new lake mapped in about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Well, so land of 10,000 lakes and you got 700. Pick it up.
Well,
those are rookie numbers.
Right. That's mostly Minnesota, Wisconsin, Ontario, and then a couple speckled throughout other states. And then I have one in Spain and one in Japan.
Oh,
as
wow.
Well. So
that's cool.
I'm going international.
Lake Taganaki or whatever that one is?
It was Nojiri. So
okay.
I think it's an army base near there. So a guy ordered that one.
So if he doesn't have the lake, he can find it, or you
right.
You can
shoot me a message.
Yeah.
There's about 95% of the lakes that I've seen I can do, and I do have a solution if I can't do the 3D depth map of it.
Yep.
But first thing you want to do is you want to figure out the size you want, right? So I can do as small as 8 by 12 up to 30 by 45 inches, and that's my small to gigantic. I call it gigantic.
Yeah.
It's pretty, almost 3 foot by 4 foot. That's pretty big.
And technically, you can go bigger. It's just going to be different sections, different maps.
I could do like a mosaic type thing where if I did different panels of it.
Yep.
Or I could technically do a pass through. I've never done that, so I'm not going to say I can do it, but
well,
I know it's possible.
You did a river system, right, where you basically made one of each river.
I've mocked it up. I
section.
haven't done one yet, but it's possible,
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
I got a brand new TikTok series for you. You could do that. You know, the guy that does the states out of wood. Have you watched that dude?
I haven't. No.
Oh yeah,
Dude, that guy's
that's
great.
super
You
cool.
could easily
sure.
do a TikTok series out of that.
Yep. So you got your size down. Prices for those ones, the small is 160, and then the gigantic is 800, and then there's a range in between those as it goes.
Now here's the deal, folks. Yes, $800 for a lake map. But
No, it's
if
art.
you actually see this, yes, exactly. This is art. This is time. This is a lot of hands-on. I mean, it's a lifetime generational heirloom piece. We're not talking just, it's a lake map.
And it's a talking point too. I hear stories all the time, like that's hanging up in someone's house and they come by and they just hang around the map.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about point out
right now I can look at the screen, see what's on TV, and I can look at that one that's in person. I can tell you that on the screen does not do that injustice.
Well, right, exactly. So you got your size picked out. Next thing you want to do is you want to pick out your color. So it's dark, light, and black, really simple. And then on the dark and the light, you have all of the roads are etched in there. The names of the cities, names of everything is etched on there, right? The only difference is on the black one is they are all etched in white. You can't really see it very well on here, but that's because it is etched on the back of this acrylic cover. With the dark and the light, you do not need the acrylic top on it. With the black one, you do, because when you etch glasses or acrylics or stuff like that, it comes up as a frosty white.
I kind of like that like how you have it. I was just going to comment.
Sure,
I like that three-tone
I call this
thing.
one my parfait map. It's all layered, but people are like, I'm like, you won't want this one. I've had people say, I kind of do want it. So
Neapolitan.
There you go. Exactly. So the acrylic is an extra addition. It's not necessary for the black or for the dark and the light. It does add, it's basically like a sheet of glass on a picture, on a picture frame. It's to protect it. It's to keep dust out, but it's just a cosmetic thing. You don't necessarily need it if you don't want. And as you can see, you got especially on this Vermilion map, you got the name of the bay down there, and you got, all of that stuff on there. So the next thing, once you got your size, you got your color, you want to pick out what frame you want. So before it was black or it was blue stained pine. And blue stained pine it's basically just when you drop a pine tree in the summertime, and if you leave it on the ground a little bit, it gets hot, it gets humid, and a fungus starts growing on the wood itself. It's just a cosmetic thing. It doesn't structurally affect the wood at all. So it's just as strong, just as durable as regular pine. It's just a cool thing. And I'm apparently the only person that likes that stuff, because the guy I buy wood from sets it aside specifically for me.
Oh, nice. Well, that's convenient.
It is convenient. Yeah, right. So, and then new this year is I have on the top, I have cherry, and on the bottom is walnut. And those are premium hardwoods. They do take a couple more bucks, depending on the size, but it's just nice and smooth, and it looks really good. They have a great color contrast for both the cherry and the walnut.
Have you played around with like burls at all?
I haven't. No, not yet.
That could be cool.
That would be an expensive map, because burl
Whatever.
is not cheap. Oh, boy.
Right, exactly.
No,
I mean,
it's not,
I can
but-
do any wood you want. It's just these are the ones that I keep
Have in stock.
have
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
So,
I was gonna say, like, you could customize if
I
somebody
could
has
customize something exactly. So also new this year, on the edges of the maps, you can see I have these little splines in here. That's just a decorative accent. It makes it look a little bit better. But also it's a structural thing too, because 45-degree miters on these corners, they are nailed in from the top, and I've got it stapled on the back, and it's glued. That's nice, but it's not strong, and shipping can be pretty rough sometimes, right? So you cut in these slots in there, you put in your wooden splines in there, you glue them in. It's just another point of structural rigidity that makes this thing strong.
That's really nice.
It gives it a nice
and
look,
it does, right?
I do handmade look, which obviously they are, but
right.
People look at stuff like, you always look at a piece of furniture, and that's one of the things you look at it, and you notice when there's certain things like that done to
exactly
something.
Right. You can see this and you say that's something that someone spent time to do instead of just put on there. Right?
Nail, screw,
exactly
screw.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So then next thing is, you touched on a little bit earlier, but like the personalization. So I do personalization is free regardless of what it is, because so if you want your house icon or your cabin icon put on there, you can do that. I can put custom messages. I can put nobody's taken me up on this offer yet, but I say tell me your fishing spots. Because I would put them on there for you, definitely. And then delete the email.
I would never transfer them over to the Humminbird Lake Masters chip.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So it covers that. And then on the back of it, as far as hanging them, because these have, they're a little hefty. They got a little bit of weight to them. So you need something a little stronger than just like a sawtooth hanger. So on the back of them it's called a French cleat system, which is basically it's 2 pieces of wood. They're cut at 45-degree angles and opposing angles. So this one is always permanently affixed to the map. And then this one is, can't really see it, but I have the holes countersunk on this. So you would put this on the map so that your bevel is facing out. And you get these holes, you get one of them into a stud or drywall anchor, doesn't matter. But basically, put this on the wall, put 1 screw in there, level it, and then put the other screws in. Then when you take your map, you can slide it on and it sucks it into the wall, pushes it real tight, good secure connection.
Yep.
The other nice benefit of the French cleat is you can see there is a bit of play on it. So if you're limited on space of where you can put it or where your stud location is, you put your French cleat on the wall, then you put your map on there, and then you got a couple inches you can slide back and forth to really center it where it needs to go. So it's a super secure, super strong connection.
Yeah. And so one thing to look at before you do the ordering and all that stuff is look at where you want to hang it, figure out where your studs are. So then they can let you know, hey, like that one, there's a 12-inch piece. Hey, I need an 18-inch piece or a longer piece so I can slide it over further.
Exactly. I can do that as well. Yep. Just it depends on the orientation of the map and, whatever. But I mean, I can do all of that stuff. So then if, say, you're in that 5% where I can't make the map for you, or if, this one, so this one's a 16 by 24. This is $300, right? You want this size, but for whatever reason, it's out of your budget range for that $300. I can do a flat version of it. And I call this one flat lake or flat street map. And it's still 3D. You still got a couple different layers on it. But for this one, I have the lake in there and I can get more detailed with it because I don't actually have to place islands. I don't actually have to place stuff. I'm just etching in the contours, right? So I can put the contours right on the bottom layer. Next layer up is your ground where I can etch in.
Zoom in on that.
Yep, where I can
Alan, hold that up for him to close.
Sure, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
So I can etch in, Perfect. A couple of little details and stuff like that. And then the roads are painted and they are
a little closer. Really get in on there on the lake itself.
Yep. So then the roads are a separate layer as well. So it's 3 layers, and the prices of these ones, they're half of whatever my lake maps are, right? So this 16 by 24 is $300 for a 3D lake map. For the flat one, it's like $150, right? So it's a little bit more affordable. And then the frame construction, it's the same. These ones don't have the splines because I did this one before I was doing that, but it's still going to have the splines in there for the rigidity. These ones, the frames just go outwards instead of, it doesn't need to be as deep for it.
Yeah.
So that's for people that don't need,
don't need, or they like that version,
or they like this version. I've had people that
or have a bunch of the other versions,
right? And then the other thing is you brought it up.
Okay.
The other thing is I brought it up earlier is you had said something about rivers.
Yep.
Rivers are incredibly difficult to do for these things because you have 130 miles of river that you want to cover, and when you cut it out on the laser, you end up having, it's just a thin line, right? So it's just incredibly difficult to do a river like that. So I could do a river system on one of these like that.
Yep. We're over here picking out waypoints.
Yeah, right.
This lake. Patrick's showing me good fishing spots on that one. We won't mention the lake.
It's Calhoun.
Yep.
Yeah, but, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Bidmox.
So this one is new this year, and this is also for people that this one does not have to be a lake, right? So this one is a 3D topo map.
Nice.
So my lake maps are built from the land down. This one is built from the land up, in the shape of a mountain.
This is more for like deer hunters.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, so if you have, this one doesn't have to be a lake. This one could be any piece of land at all, right? So if you got your hunting land or something like that, you wanted to put your stand locations on there.
Oh, that's very cool.
All of that stuff. So this is, instead of being out of wood, this is out of chipboard or like really thick cardboard. So 0.05 inches cardboard, whatever. And I build it up 12 layers. So I get basically twice the amount of details I get on a lake map. But this is just land, a little bit easier to work with. But so on this one, since I am featuring the lake on it, I do have the contours etched in on the lake already. But that one is blue, and then it comes up as the land is built. These ones I cannot paint the cardboard just because like I can do the bottom layer, but the other ones from that, this stuff when you paint it, it gets really warpy.
Probably,
it bleeds and
stuff not necessarily the bleeding. It just gets really warpy and hard to work with, and the laser has a very precise focus point. You know, it's either out of focus or it's in focus. There's a very short amount of depth of field where it can actually cut and do a good job of it.
Yeah.
And then on this one, they all come with the acrylic top as well. And then same thing on this one is, you can't really see it on the camera, but I have all of the roads and all the information, all of that stuff etched on the acrylic. And it is etched, I didn't mention it before, but it's etched on the backside of the acrylic so that when you scrape your finger across it or whatever, it's not collecting dust. It's still smooth. It's not getting weird reflections in the light.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So you could get like hunting land, right? You get your property marked, you know, all done.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you just take your dry erase marker and use it for that year. Like, here's our stand.
Exactly.
Here.
Right.
Here's our stand
cool,
here.
yeah.
Here's our stand here.
And you move a stand, you just wipe it away. You put it wherever it is. You know what I mean? So
I mean, guys do that anyway. They got the big plastic one on the wall or whatever they do at some of these places.
Right.
Well, do this. It's much cooler.
Yep. So then this one, frame construction, same thing, same options: the black, the blue stained pine, the cherry, and the walnut with these ones as well. And then this one on the back of it still have that same French cleat attachment system, and then the splines on the corners.
Yeah. We got a question from Alex. Tim, can he put the contour lines on the bigger one so you still get all the detail, even if you can't get it as all the layers?
So I think he's talking about like intermediate layers or whatever. So you have the hard stop layers, because these are eight layers thick, right? But I could do, if you had like say 16 different layers, you do a layer, then you etch in the next one, then you do a hard layer, and then you etch in the next one. So it is possible.
Yeah.
You know, that would just be one of those things like contact me, message me,
yeah,
and we can get a mock-up. And
it'd be less lasered layers, but you'd still get all.
You would still have all the contours. There would just be
yeah.
less layers, because this wood's heavy, right? So I don't want to make this thing 2 inches thick, because that's gets up there.
Hopefully you got a strong wall if you're going every single.
Exactly.
Right. Yesterday to Lake Superior, to do Lake Superior, because Lake Superior is a deep lake. Every layer is 60 meters deep.
Something like 60 meters, right? So I do 8 layers, and it doesn't matter if your lake is 8 feet deep or if it's 1,300 feet deep. I try to break it down as evenly as I can and as good as I can to get that, that 8 layers. So you asked about the Mariana Trench yesterday, and I had that one mocked up in about 15 minutes for you.
Yeah. There you go, Patrick. Yeah. Imagine the rock bass down there.
All right, exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about the laser you use? This isn't just a little hobby laser.
Oh, no. This is a industrial sized laser. This thing is 7 feet wide by 5 feet deep or whatever, and it takes up a big portion of my garage. So it's a 100-watt CO2 laser, so I can cut wood, acrylic, leather, paper, that type of stuff. I can etch ceramics, tile, and I can etch almost anything. And then metals, I cannot directly etch them, but if I spray them, I can either burn away whatever the paint is on there, or if you wanted like a stainless steel type thing etched, I can etch it with a spray, and then it comes out black. So I can show you that right now. So,
and this is how most of these cups are anyway.
Exactly,
they paint them black, and then they just etch away the
exactly.
paint.
This is just your regular whatever Contigo that I got off the shelf at Target. And I have a rotary now, so I can do round things.
Nice,
because of the depth of the laser. But so basically, it burned away the black, and it reveals my logo in there. Yeah. And then if it was stainless, I would just spray this stuff on there, and then it would etch in black. And then I was talking about the ceramics. I have, I've been working a lot on these now. It's kind of hard to see, but these are just regular wall tiles or ceramic tiles or whatever. But I've been able to figure out a coating that you can put on them, and then you etch it
crap.
in there, and it you can etch the photo in there, and you can do pretty realistic photos stuff.
That looks like a photo.
Exactly. I mean, it is. And the thing
is that a minnow or a golden eye?
Looks
it's some kind of minnow.
Yeah.
So the thing about this stuff, it is incredibly durable, right? So this is not going to flake off like a regular coat of paint. Like that is not.
Sorry to those of you wearing earphones. That was awesome. On high.
Exactly, but I mean that is not going to come off. So you can do. I've been doing some other ones with 12-inch tiles or 12 by 24-inch tiles, stuff like that. They're really cool. I can do almost anything with it. So I've got, some coasters here.
You got the full skip.
With logos.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that.
Are you kidding me?
So
That's
there
cool.
you go.
I was just in my mind thinking like I've been meaning to come up with a black and white rendition of mine so that I could do like the leather patches on hats and stuff. And
Exactly, right.
Here
Yep.
he is.
And the same thing, those leather.
Look at that.
Yep. So so on the back of it, those are cork backed, so it's not going to mark up your surface that it's on.
That's
now I can get rid of that basketball Miller Lite coaster I've got on my desk at home in the office.
That's amazing.
All right, so we got a question from Travis Foss. Can live mapping data, Humminbird Live,
Sure,
as I'm
exactly.
going along, I'm mapping it out.
I did have someone, they had an entire lake mapped out, and he sent me the information for it because I have whatever Hummingbird's software is, right?
Yeah.
AutoChart
AutoChart
PC.
Yep.
So I have that. So if you send that to me, I can, if the lake is fully mapped or mapped good enough, I can make it work for you. So
for those of you out there that fish Medicine Lake, I have that entire lake mapped out.
Seriously?
Yes. It's down the street, so every time I'm there, I just map a little more. And if I'm in an area I haven't done it, okay, I'll take 60 seconds and run over that area.
Sure.
So I'm willing to sell that map because I do fish there quite a bit, and I do some tournaments and whatnot. So it's for sale. So if you want to get a actual current map for Medicine Lake,
just go to Doug, Rob, steal his chip, and then send it over to me.
You'd be very surprised in how different it is, even from the latest Lake Master and Navionics chips.
Listen, I would not be surprised. Navionics, I was going to say no hate, but there is some hate. That will lead you astray on a lot of lakes. Some lakes, it's like dead nuts on. And then there's other lakes, you're like, it says 30 feet, and I just drilled into sand. What the hell is going on here? Why?
Yep.
What is this?
Yep.
So then as far as contacting me, I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, just Horn Dog Maps over there. If you want to chat, I'll chat with you, talk to you. But if you want a specific map, email me or go to my website and contact me because I can star it in Gmail. If messages get lost in Facebook and Instagram, but over in Gmail, I can star it and I can come back to it later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And get it worked up for you.
Have you done layers of acrylic?
I haven't. Because when you layer up, say like a blue acrylic or whatever, when you layer it up, it gets darker.
Right.
So I would have to cut out the lake. I haven't thought about that. Or same thing with epoxy.
I've seen those done before.
I was more wondering, like,
there is
because it's
another
going to
guy.
kind of, you wouldn't have to color coat like this. If it's just more layers, that's going to be, it would be reversed.
It would be
darker
reversed.
on
I would
the
have to
top?
do I would have to basically inlay. So it is a possibility. I just haven't really looked into
I've seen it
would
before.
be in reverse. It'd be a negative.
I've seen it before. There's a guy that does that, and it looks okay.
Yeah.
It's I'm not going to knock his stuff. It looks good.
Well, it's the same as epoxy, right? So,
yeah.
People have asked me, do you fill them with epoxy? I don't, because they are usually meant for going on walls, right? Epoxy is really heavy and it's really expensive, and I just haven't really messed around with it. I have had 2 people buy maps that they wanted to inlay into a table. So I haven't seen the final results of it. In theory, it should work.
Yep.
So I just haven't seen how it looks.
And epoxy can be super tricky if you don't mix it just right. It can crack and all kinds of crazy things can happen.
Pricing on the etching of tiles. Cups
so I have on my website, I have some fish coasters, and then just whatever. It's $30 for a 4-pack, and then I also have a stand that comes with it as well if you wanted to display them or if you store them on there.
Yeah, $30 4-pack. That ain't bad.
No, I need to get a whole set of the full scale ones for fam.
Any logo, yes. Yep. Oh, and I never went over the prices of these topo maps.
Oh yeah.
So this one is the 13 by 19. Then I have an intermediate, which is like an 18 by 26, and then the big one is 26 by 38 inches. So this one is $250, the big one is $750, and the other one's like $5 something.
Cool.
So
Cool. No,
Awesome.
I always love having you on because it's just cool stuff.
Right.
You know, it's a nice break from, you know, all the fishing things, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You're a super nice guy. You make an awesome product. You're working out of your garage. You know, that's what this show is mainly for, was to bridge the gap for all the small companies that went to shows and whatnot. But no, I love this stuff.
Have you fully moved into like your own space? I know
so
before you were.
It was it's been about a year now.
Okay.
that I have been fully working completely out of my garage,
Nice.
and you know, I've been milling my own lumber now because the price of wood is just stupid.
Is it still?
It is still.
Haven't noticed.
If you want any of those maps to curve around a corner, feel free to bring in some Menards lumber.
Right, exactly. But so on the subject of that, my prices are going to be increasing the first of the year, because I haven't increased the prices since I started 3 years ago.
Yep.
And my lumber prices are doubled.
There's your discount code. Buy it now.
So, yeah.
There right now there is a 20%.
Oh, look at this.
20%.
20% off right now,
Nice.
horndogmaps.com. And that is going on through, I think, until Friday, something like that. So 20% off. And then if you share the live stream, you get that $250 gift card. That should cover any medium-sized map or this one, or, you know,
Get a
off
nice
of
chunk
a bigger,
off of
you
a
know,
big one. Yeah.
big chunk off of bigger ones. So you can get one of these.
And
for
what's
about
your
$50.
like turnaround time to steal a taxidermy?
On my so on my website it listed as 2 to 3 weeks. Usually it's faster than that.
All right. Well, if you're looking at a Christmas gift,
exactly. But you know, Christmas is coming up and things are going to get real busy real fast. So the sooner the better.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you win the gift card, does the 20% work on top of that?
Jeez, the guy's got to make some money. Good lord.
I'm just asking.
Just cut them.
Just so they might know. They might ask that too. I'm just getting ahead of the game there.
It might work.
It's
it
a
probably
yes.
will.
Okay. All right. It's a yes or no.
It probably. I don't think I have any restrictions on it.
No,
but,
I'm sure it would. You in the cart and then apply the coupon and
exactly.
Yep.
So
be a cheapskate. Good.
Yep.
Good
So
for you.
if you want to see him, if you want to see him in person, they're at Smith and Trade Mercantile in Stillwater. They're at Outdoor Ventures in Hayward. And they are at White Willow Co-Market in Cumberland, Wisconsin.
Yep. And if you were at the Minnesota State Fair and you stopped by the Due North Ron Shera booth, you were in there.
Not this year. I was last year.
Last year. Okay.
Yep,
last
year. I wasn't there this year.
Okay.
But
okay.
Are you at any of the shows coming up?
I'm going to be at the Blaine Ice Show and the St. Paul Ice Show again. So I'll have a booth there as well. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to see you up at the Black Duck Woodcarvers Festival. Are you going to go back up there again next year?
I might. It's either going to be that or I might go to the Ely Blueberry Festival because it's a whole weekend. It's the same weekend. So I might, you know.
Look at Alan over there, Blueberry Festival. Yes.
When is that?
I never heard of that.
End of July.
It's going to be, all right, we'll have to go fishing if you have time. That's my new neighborhood.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're working up there now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing your art and your talent. I use my sketch pad, or I'm working in clay now. Just sometimes it's nice to take a break and just I use art as some therapy, and it's always fun.
It's something different too.
I appreciate you sharing it.
Yeah.
He's already got Frankenstein and Dracula drawn on his notepad.
He's
been doodling.
I was also up way too late last night researching lake trout lakes nearby. So
there's none near us. I mean, the closest one is Grindstone. That's
I mean
up there.
Where my new you're near me.
So I always did good on Burnside is a good one. There's some other Snowbank and stuff.
I've heard that one's pretty popular.
Very popular.
Yeah.
That's
congratulations for finding Mythical Side Lake.
Yeah,
I did find it. Yeah,
I did the same thing. I was like, holy crap!
I didn't think
exist.
It does. Yeah. So.
Yep. All right, Mitch. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Greatly appreciate
it.
Awesome. I'll stop by and see you in St. Paul.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yep.
All right, there you go, folks. I mean,
talk about that for forever.
Yeah. I mean, they are just well-made, awesome pieces of art.
Yeah, I have a Lake Bemidji one hanging on my wall. It's awesome.
Yep. We got Kendra saying, "Well, it's a good discount, 20% off." Yeah, go find a piece of art, actual like art, good art. That's 20% off. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah,
thank you, Mitch.
That was great.
Doug, best job in the work is art and fishing. I'm proud to be a tattoo artist and a fisherman.
Oh, wait a second.
Wait a second. All right, hold on.
I'm going to Wyoming. I need
hold on a second here. Yes. Yeah, look at that. We got cup holders now. Like I said, I can get rid of the basketball one on my desk.
That's awesome.
Thank you, sir.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, man.
Very, and boom, holds a cup of coffee. Awesome. Jared says beautiful maps. And Doug, the tattoo guy, says he gets 20% off for vets. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. There you go.
Jeez Louise.
All right. Well, thank you to the sponsors of the show, Clam Outdoor, Glacier Ice Houses. Fun fact, a Glacier fun fact, Patrick.
Man, I kind of ate up most of my fun facts in the beginning here. We're talking about all the dealerships and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And also, of course, Thorn Brothers. Starting at 10 till the end of the show, you can come on into Thorn Brothers and get entered into win one of these. They're this rod right here, actually, a Kishler custom rod. It's a 34-inch power noodle. The camera doesn't do this thing justice. Orange, brown, gold, fantastic rod. And you are almost guaranteed to outfish Alan with a rod he made. So, I mean, I do it all the time. All right. Let's see. We got Blake. He's down there and getting ready. So whenever he's ready, he can just give us a big thumbs up. We're talking Euro tackle now. Thumbs up from Blake. Hi. Good morning, Blake. It's always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Oh,
unmute yourself.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't do it.
I'm back.
There you go.
It's like deja vu all over again.
It is. Yep. I just got a different hat on. That's take it.
Man of many hats, literally.
Yes.
He won a NASCAR race.
Yes. All right. Euro tackle.
Yes. So we're here to talk about Euro tackle. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is supply chain stuff with Euro tackle going to be this year?
Very good. Yep, it's very good. I don't think you're going to see any issues with anything across the board. Ben was very proactive, so he's got plenty of stock in everything for at least the next year or two. So
cool.
So that's good news. I mean, unless sales just go absolutely crazy beyond what they've been, but
well, hopefully they'll go crazy beyond what they've been. Let's sell them out right now before ice fishing season starts. Let's go, folks.
Yeah. So no, everything should be. I don't see issues forward this year, but not next either.
Hold on, we're getting a little bit of robotic voice from you. I don't know if.
No voice.
Well, he isn't talking.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yeah, it's still robotic-y, kind of scattered.
That's change. You want me to try connecting to a spot and see it work?
Yeah, try that.
Sure.
You might have to sign back in, but yeah, we can keep it going. In the meantime, everybody, do us a favor: share the live stream. Share. Let's see. We've got the rest of the morning. We've got BassKhange, and then Blake will come back on to talk St. Croix rods, and then we've got a full afternoon lineup. We've got Sullivan tip downs, Della Bay rods, the Black Hole Patch, which is a very simple product that I need some actually. I need some of that to fix something I've got that's got a hole in it. Macula tackle. And then we'll have Kishler come back on for a while, talk some fishing rods, and then Cat's covers and Burtec ice.
Awesome.
We'll do a little check. See if what Blake sounds like.
Any better?
No, it's not. Try completely signing out, and then going back to the internet that you had before.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Keep talking for a second. Oh,
here you go.
Of course.
So after last year's segment with the Euro tackle, I put in a pretty good order.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
soft plastics. I was like, what?
Yeah. He might, if he shows them or not. The little. Well, we'll see what happens here. Blake, check.
Check.
Can
you hear?
Yeah.
It's still staticky though.
Still a little robot.
Try us.
Crunchy. No, it's going to probably.
May have.
Hold on. How about now?
There we go. Money.
AirPods.
Damn AirPods. Huh?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, I'm a Samsung guy, Android guy. We don't like iPhones in my house.
Whatever. Get out of here.
So, all right.
Anywho, all right.
What a loser.
Let's go. Let's talk some Euro tackle.
Well, Euro Tackle, for people that don't know, company was founded in 2015. The owner, he's originally from Europe, from Belgium, and that's where the name Euro Tackle kind of comes from. First product that he had in the line was mummy worms, and that still is one of the better sellers in the lineup. These are actually mummified wax worms. I don't know how. I know you're getting a little bit of glare there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they're they're actual real wax worms. So that's a lot of people are skeptical. You know, they'll see them at a show, they assume, well, all those are really good imitations. Well, they're not. They're just preserved basically. The last 2 years, there's a kind of like a special blend of preservatives in there. After 2 years, you will notice that you know, they'll start to dry out after that 2-year time frame. It's just a great
moths.
Yeah, they won't turn into moths or flies.
No, they won't. And there's, I believe, 12 different colors. So there's plenty of different options. It's kind of like a good intermediate for people who aren't comfortable with plastics yet, but are trying to branch out from the live bait game a little bit. That's, to me, that's kind of the best place. And then they're just a nice thing to just carry around with you in your tackle box. If like there's certain situations where you want to have live bait, but maybe you don't want to stop at the store, keep these in your tackle box and you're kind of good to go.
Yeah. Or the kids that don't want to touch a live squiggly worm. Yep. It's like, here you go. You don't tell them it's real if they think it's fake, and then they just end up using it anyway.
Right. Right. So beyond that, there's a ton of other things. You know, finessey things are kind of the name of the game for Euro tackle. So that's small plastics, both open water and ice, lots of different small hard baits, spoons. On the micro finesse lineup, which is kind of the plastic side of the company, there is now 14 different designs, most of which are designed for kind of specifically for ice fishing or for finesse people. But there is a handful of open water ones as well. Really, the kind of goal is to be as realistic as possible. So here's a good example. There's the bloodworm, and it comes on this chunk of plastic here. You basically just tear them off, and then this is what it actually looks like up here.
Bought those last year.
I wish more companies would leave the plastics connected to, what is that called? The sprue.
It saves them time.
Well, it saves them time, but also it's easier to grab that whole thing, pick one off, and then put it back in the package.
Yep. You can't see it very well here, but it even works as a marketing thing because he's got Euro tackle on there as well. So
there you go. Sure.
On the sprue itself, nice.
Yep. So so really that's kind of the name of the game, is a lot of very realistic designs. There's the Shrimp X. This is more of an open water or a larger ice profile. We have the Euro Grub. There's Stoneflies, Dragonfly.
Hold that Euro Grub up closer, especially the picture on there, so people can see it there. Turn it a little bit. There we go. You can kind of see it up on the label there, folks. It's just a simple little stick with a little thin tail. Works out,
Yes, sir.
You have the dragonfly larva one. So I think that's they were out of stock. I think when I went to order, I was very disappointed.
It's called the Anti-Stop. I don't have one of those with me. That's in my open water box because it's more of an open water size bait. It's 1.5 inches. Last year we added a couple of smaller profile ones. There's my one go.
Yeah, and honestly, I wanted it for open water, like spring fishing when the dragonfly larvas are out and about. I was like, dude, these would be deadly.
It's a fantastic bait for trout and for bluegills. I've caught a lot of big bluegills on that Anisoptera.
Yeah, I bet.
So this is one of the new ones we added last year. This is a plankton. It's a 1/2 inch. And then we added the leech last year. I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah, just throw it closer to the camera, especially the yellow sticker. There you go.
There you are. There you go.
Oh, yep.
That's the freaking Wonder Bread.
Yeah, it is a Wonder Bread.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. One of the new things we have this year is Wonder Bread in every single micro finesse plastic.
Stop, Blake. You know what? God damn it. Everybody knows what my favorite color is. So what do they do now? They come out with Wonder Bread just to take my money for no reason.
Yeah, it's Wonder Bread Glow too. So it's not just Wonder Bread. So that's been added to all of the, basically all the plastics, especially the ice size one. I should say it's been added to all of the ice size plastics. So like the open water baits, like the B Vibe, which is a 2-inch paddle tail, you're not going to see Wonder Bread in that. But all of the ice oriented stuff, you will see that. A new plastic this year. This is the only new plastic we have this year. This is called the Glider.
Okay, a little closer there. Hold it. Yep.
It's 3/4 of an inch. It has almost like a like a glide bait style tail on it. You can't really see it. Let me take one out. And so that's just going to give it some very unique action, I guess, compared to other plastics. So I don't know how well you can see.
Oh, it's got got like a jigging wrap tail to it.
Yep.
Yep, that's exactly it. So that's the new one for this year. Probably, the most, I guess, well-known Euro tackle product is the Z Viber.
Yep.
So Z Vibers. This came out in 2017, I believe. So there is. Oh, I lost one.
Got a volunteer.
Yep, that's the first one you have to throw this year.
Yep, that one just
it already wants out of the box.
This isn't all the colors, but this is a whole bunch of them.
Frame that thing. That just looks pretty.
Yeah,
it does. So that's it. The original 16-ounce Z Viber. It comes with a single hook, so it's really a good option if you're fishing on cover. There is internal rattles in there. Like I mentioned, it weighs 1/16 of an ounce, and it's 1 inch. At the time that it came out, it was the smallest lipless crankbait ever made. Since then, there's been a handful of other ones that have been made, including one that Euro Tackle came out with that's smaller than that.
And you said that those are not all the colors, or those are all the colors?
They're definitely not all the colors. This is, what do we got here? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 by 5. So this is 30, and this is not all of the colors.
Okay.
Last year, we added, I'll pull some of these ones out here.
And there's like Shields exclusive colors and stuff like that too, I've seen.
Yep. And that's where a lot of these other colors come into play. They're, Shields exclusives. Last year, we added kind of this match the hatch lineup. And so this is all very realistic designs. Here we have a crappie.
Hey, Blake, you do a fair amount of like trout fishing in that too. Have you
that bluegill
tried these on trout?
This is actually my favorite bait for trout.
Son of a, just gave away a secret.
No, I'm very vocal about that, so that's okay. I've been trout fishing through the ice for about 3 years, and I would say that this price counted for probably 90% of those of the trout I've caught through the ice. Is these tipped with like either a wax worm or a mummy worm.
Okay, so you are tipping it.
Yep, it seems to make a huge difference for trout.
Okay,
tipping it. And I should preface that this bait would be much better for shallow water trout. Like if you were going out to fish trout over 20, 30 feet, that's a different animal. I don't know if I would rely on that, but when I'm using these for trout, I'm targeting them specifically in shallow water, like under 10 feet of water. So that's where those really, really come into play.
And do you rip those at a lift fall, or are you shaking it? A little bit of both.
Depends on the fish.
Similar to walleye fishing. You're really ripping it to get them to come in, and then once they show up, it's just making them chase it.
Okay.
Yep. This is the 1/8 ounce Z Viber. So this is just a step up. This is what was added the year after that 16th ounce came out. So here's a little bit better look at some of those match the hatch ones we added last year. Here's, for example, these are some of the Shields exclusives. And this is nowhere near to all the colors.
Those are some pretty slick paint jobs.
Yeah. And then we also added the 3/8, which is definitely, more of a walleye size bait for guys who maybe heading up to Winnipeg. And then we have the 5/8.
Biggins.
Yeah, so that would definitely be like a Winnipeg or more of an open water bass bait. I know a lot of the guys who fish bass on the team use these in the 3/8 a lot during the open water season.
Yep.
Well, I know like right now, cold water, sorry, Doug, the fall, blade baits are a big thing right now, like vertical jigging that. This kind of, you can use those in the same fashion, yeah?
Yep, and man, it has that that little connector similar to a lot of blade baits, so you can change how it swims through the water. If you put it in that center hook, that's more of like a vertical jigging. If you want to run it this way, you'd put it on that back hook.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Like this, you put it on that front hook.
Yep. I just want to touch on that case. Those cases are made by, I believe it's Fish in More.
Fish More.
Fishmore. So yeah, they're all they start popping up on Facebook, and I think they're at the St. Paul show. If not the booth, they have a booth. They're at other booths, but it's Fishmore Company. They make that for those style baits. They make them for like the glide baits, jig and wrap, stuff like that, and all sorts of different stuff. They're cool. They're not cheap, but they're cool. Then they do look very nice. So when you have stuff with nice paint jobs, or just you want to limit the number of stuff, I've looked at them hard, so I don't have a giant tub of them. But yeah, they're pretty neat. So
they are. And I do want to mention something on that. So Euro Tackle and Fishmore are working together.
Okay. We'll promote them. Yeah, go ahead.
You're going to see a handful of exclusive boxes to Euro Tackle. So there's options that fit like a micro Z Viber, a 16th ounce Z Viber, and an 8th ounce Z Viber.
Are you putting together some kits?
Yep, basically that's the plan.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool.
So there'll be. I don't have any of those, unfortunately, but I mean they have them for Euro Tackle's open water products as well. So there's some jerk baits. Those are designed specifically for the Euro Tackle jerk baits.
Dude, that
specifically for the Euro Tackle crankbaits.
That looks great because that man.
Yeah, they're nice.
Crankbait, like tackle boxes. I hate them.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah. So the other, I guess really the only other one left in the Z Viber lineup is the micro.
Yeah, buddy.
That is about a half an inch, but it weighs still 1/16 of an ounce. The way we accomplish that, there's that little tungsten ball there. So these are actually really, really good. I would argue that these are better for fishing deep water than the original 16th ounce Z Viber.
Fall a little faster.
They sink really quick. So that is a huge help there.
Yep. And here's the thing with stuff like this, like I bought a bunch of them. I mean, I went out and pretty much went to Shields and bought every color, and then they didn't have Wonder Bread, so I waited and finally found them. And I tried to fish them. I didn't have success at first because it's like just like everything else. I tried it. It didn't work after 10 minutes, and I said, screw it. I'll go back to what's working.
You made it 10 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. So I went out and I kept fishing it and I kept fishing it. And one day, all of a sudden, I started catching fish. It's just like making that transition over to plastics. So now I actually have confidence in throwing that thing on a bait or on a rod and reel, going out and fishing it. So if you don't catch fish with, a certain technique, not even necessarily just this bait, a certain technique, keep at it. Someday, all of a sudden, it'll click, and it clicked for me. And now it's like I have confidence in actually bringing that thing out and fishing it, and it works fantastic.
Yeah, and there's going to be situations where it doesn't work. There's like any other bait. Like you might go out there and the first 3 times you try it, you might not catch a damn thing on it because it might just not be the right situation for using that bait. But then there's other situations where you're going to go out and just absolutely crush fish on it.
That's awesome. It's going to be available at the in-person shows coming up. Like, are you going to be out there?
And we will be selling this year. So I will be.
I'm gonna have my new trout hobby, ice fishing for trout, that I'm going to take up this winter. I'll be hitting you up. We'll put together a trout box.
Yep. To be honest, if you're fishing shallow, just buy a bunch of these. So
there you go.
I'm in. Yep. I want one of them cases too, though.
Oh, the other things, we got other things I got to get through. We got 2 new ones this year too that I want to talk about, but I don't want to miss anything else.
Yep, let's go.
So tungsten spoons. This is one we've had out for a few years. This is the T Flasher. It's 100% tungsten. This is the 1/4 ounce model and the 5/8 ounce model. We had these the first 2 years. A couple of years ago, we added the 1/8. And then last year we added the micro, which is 1/16. So there's a whole.
Talk about something that took me a while to get confidence in is a spoon with no bait on it for panfish.
Yep.
And my God, do they work well.
Big difference. Yeah. Having a little bit of hair or feathers on there can pay dividends. I've also taken, like that bloodworm and chunked it up into small little chunks and put it on there like it was a maggot or something. That works well. I don't have any of the live spoon here handy, but that is an ABS spoon. I know I've showed those off in the past. You can see those all on the website. One thing I wanted to mention for Doug in particular is we do have one all of the sizes of the T Flasher. So there's your Wonder Bread.
Stop.
Every size.
I can hear the draining sound from his wallet right now.
But here's the thing: we need a 1/32 ounce. So tell Ben 1/32 ounce.
Yeah, it might be in the works already. So I'm not going to.
Cool.
So one of the new things this year, this is one that has been in the works for, I think, 3 seasons. So it took us a while to get there, but it is the all-new Z-Darter V2. So we had a different version of the Z-Darter in the past. You can see it back there on that thing. It did not have the fins. It did a very similar thing to a jig and wrap or a poppet minnow, but it was really hard to to sell that to customers, to help them understand that because it doesn't have the fins, it does the same thing. People looked at it and they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So it made sense to redesign the bait.
Yeah. Hold that big one up there so people can see it.
Yeah. And I have one out of the package I'll show off.
Oh, okay. Too. Yeah, grab the one out of the package. A little easier without the reflection.
Yeah. So this is.
Don't hook yourself.
Yeah. We've yet to have an injury on this show. There you go. Get her nice and close.
I like that color too.
There you go.
See the Z-Darter V2. This is the micro size. So that's roughly 1/16 of an ounce. Differences from other baits. It's made of ABS. It has a lead core, but it has ABS plastic around the outside. So advantage to that is you're not going to get that scratching of the paint like you would with something that's just straight lead. It's not going to chip off in that same way. It's also going to change the fall rate a little bit. It does make it slightly slower, but when you get to that larger size, you really don't notice it at all.
Yeah. Well, sometimes a slower fall rate is actually better because the fish from further away can see that and they have time to actually react to it.
Yep. So it does not have a front hook, and then you'll notice that both hooks are trebles. When we did the testing on this, we tried it with single hooks, especially on that back hook. Treble hooks seem to make more sense. It is a rotating center hook as well, so that's
nice.
Your fish. So you're not going to run into nearly as many issues with losing fish.
Ooh, shiny.
Molded wings. This isn't we're obviously not the first company to do that, but molded wings is definitely an advantage. A lot less likely to break off or just completely fall off there. And like I said, there's 3 sizes. So there's the micro, which would be kind of like, if you're looking at like jig and wrap sizes, this would be between a 1 and a 3. And then there is a number 5. So that is basically the same exact size as like a jig and wrap or a poppet minnow number 5. And then a number 7. So that's going to fit in. So you'll see that as the micro, the number 5, and the number 7. And that's the 7 and the 5 are simply relates to centimeters. So that's where those come into play. Any questions on those at all, guys?
No, but we have some other questions. The Wonder Bread plastics, they're not on the website yet.
They will be soon, and so will the glider. So those, and that glider does have Wonder Bread in it as well.
Okay, of course it does. Thank you for spending my money. Anyway, I just buy Wonder Bread, and yeah, I'm just gonna start a Wonder Bread wall.
Yeah.
Recommendation for line size type on the Z Vibe. Just kind of match it up to the
application, I guess. But if you're using those smaller ones, 2 to 3. 3 is kind of my go-to 3-pound fluoro for just about everything, whether it's trout or crappies.
Yeah. All right. All right. Anything else we got going on?
Yes, we got one more new product this year, and that is the ESR Nano. I'll pull one of these out. Let's see if you guys can see that.
Okay.
This is a Euro Tackles tungsten jig. And the thought process behind it is that it's designed to show up better on electronics. Obviously, I know, many of us know that we're not the first company to do this, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be done just because somebody else has done it. So that flat face there, it's a little hard to see.
Yeah, it's got a flat top on it.
It's basically designed to show up better on electronics. And I've seen it in action. I got to fish with these all of last year, and it definitely does show up better on electronics. There's a little bit longer hook shank on these than your standard tungsten jig, and that's because they're designed to fish with plastics. Of course, you can fish live bait on them, but they're designed to fit well with the Micro Finesse lineup. It's a true 90 hook. So what I mean by that is the way this hook is designed, it goes straight up there at a 90-degree angle. So it's not like your teardrop style tungstens. So you can tie that on with just a standard knot. You don't have to use special knots to keep it completely horizontal. And the way that this head design is paired with that that hook point, basically, or that hook tie, it will just basically force it to sit completely horizontal.
Nice.
Yep. 5 colors on those, 2 sizes. There's a 3.5 mil and there's a 5 mil. So
nice.
Here's the 3.5.
Yeah, this will help out when you're fishing deeper water, especially in deeper water.
Yep.
You start fishing 20 past like 20 feet. It's like, where's my jig? So you got to turn your gain way up, and then the screen gets cloudy when the bugs come in or whatever. And it's like, I can't see anything. Well, this will help out.
Yeah. Instead of having to take a pliers and wrecking a bunch,
Yep.
trying to make your jigs sit horizontally.
Yep.
Use one that's designed that way.
Yep. 100%. Let's see. Got that. Anything else?
They're tungsten. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they're completely tungsten.
Tungsten.
So,
Awesome. All right. Well, Blake, I appreciate it. They'll be at the shows. Check out the website, all that good stuff. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Ben, for doing all this Wonder Bread stuff. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's been
good businessman. He knows a sucker when he sees one.
The first person to come out with a wheelhouse and Wonder Bread. Yeah, thanks.
Glacier,
great.
Get on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no.
That's Wonder Bread too. The new Z Darter does.
The Z Darter does too. Oh, goody. Oh,
yeah.
God, I'm gonna go broke. Anyway, all right, Blake, appreciate it. We'll see you in about 25 minutes.
Perfect. See you guys then.
All right, sounds
thanks,
good.
Blake.
I'm gonna start hand pouring Wonder Bread Senkos just to take your money.
Yeah, we had a question here from Jared. Do you use tie direct or use speed clips? Just tie direct.
Tie direct. Don't be lazy.
If you're using a rattle bait, like the bigger on the micro Z Viber, something like that, tie direct. It's like a jig. Anything bigger, you can use speed clips, especially if you're not sure what color. Plus, it gives it a little more free swinging action. But then, as far as jigs, always tie direct. Learn a loop knot. Loop knots are a good thing to use too on jigs. Lets it kind of do its thing. And but yeah, always tie on when you can. What size hooks do you use on your spoons, Patrick?
When I'm are we talking about swapping out trebles?
Could be. Just kind of match it up.
I kind of just match it up. I usually I try to go 8.
Yeah.
8, depending on the spoon, 8 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so it doesn't look too big, or it's too small so they can't grab it.
A lot of times too, there are certain plastic profiles that I use on my spoons. And so I'll match that hook more to the plastic than the spoon size.
That's actually a very good point. Yeah. You want to make sure that you get enough hook coming out so they actually grab onto it. And
it sits right. Yeah.
Yep. Do you guys think you have any insight? I was going to get to that, Nate. I was going to get to that for sure. We're doing 10% off on Euro Tackle, discount code SmackDown. So head over to the website. I do not have any inside information whatsoever as far as clam and full-size doors. I would say eventually they probably will, like everybody else. Eskimo took or Otter took a few years to catch up and get things. Odds are, if I'm a betting man, yes, they will. Probably next year. I would say. Like I said, I do not know this.
Yeah.
So clam, I'm just guessing like everybody else.
Total speculation.
But I'd probably say next year. It's just with everything that happened the past 2 years, supply chains, this and that, and the other. Norfin, we were completely behind a year. We needed to get stuff. But we couldn't get it until later, so we held it off for a year. So next year would be my guess, if not probably the following year, because it is a great idea.
Well, yeah, clam's pretty dialed into the ice fishing community. If that becomes a demand, they will meet it.
That and also, if you're not the first, and if there possibly is a patent, you have to figure out a way around that patent to do certain things. So that could be why they, their previous side doors were actually corner doors. Which probably because of like Fraybill's side door and then Otter's side door and Eskimo's side door, they had to figure out a way to do it, or wait for a patent to go up. So I don't know. Eventually they'll probably do it. I'm sure, because it is smart and it's obviously everybody loves it. So
yeah.
So there you go. Let's see. We've got BassKhange going to show us stuff. They're always I love these products. I use them myself. So whenever G is ready, he can give us a thumbs up and we'll bring him in. He's waving. He's thumbs up in it. G, how are you, sir?
Good morning.
Hey, good.
All right. We got BassKhange. We got all sorts of stuff. And I don't know if we'll talk about rods and whatnot, but he does custom rods and reels or rods and all that good stuff. He's also got he's got an actual brick and mortar location now too. So you can go in.
I do.
So, all right, I will let you have at it and show what you got, and we'll take questions and relay them to you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, you guys. Today we're at the North Metro Ice Show in Ramsey, and we're kind of just we're selling mostly shuttles. We do have rods, but new this year is we went aluminum side brackets for these smaller batteries.
Oh, you got metal now. Nice.
Yep, aluminum sides. They are unpainted, but it is nicer. It's thinner and it's actually lighter. And then for our tripod poles, they're all this part is all aluminum as well. Just because we had a lot of problems with this part breaking last year, and it also helped streamline our production as well. And then the biggest one that everybody wants to see is these bigger live scope shuttles. This is all aluminum, and it is powder coated black wrinkle just to give it a nice finish on it.
Yep.
And then these all have different colors that you can pick from. As you guys can see in the background right there, there's a bunch of different ones that we've gone through quite a bit already at the show here. So
yeah, and actually Thorn Brothers has some bundles. Fish Electronics, they built actual bundles with the live scope units on them that they're selling through Thorn Brothers. So if you want to just go ahead and get a bundle with that shuttle, you can get it at Thorn Brothers. I think they might have some at the show, but they definitely have them here. Yep,
yeah,
there we go. There we go.
This one right here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something I figured out that when I was walking around at the Thorn Brothers show. Like, oh, they had some. So it's cool because they get a whole lot more exposure than we do. And it just helps get our name out more than what we can get out. So it's really nice. I thought I saw they had 5, and then as of last night they only had 2 left. So they're moving.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So do you have one of the shuttle, the normal regular shuttles? Do you have one of those kind of hooked up with everything on it and kind of go through one of those?
Yeah. Sorry, I went off camera. All right. So this is my 28. This is the power box one. So it is rigged up with the gimbal brackets. These are not included. These are an additional accessory. The tripod arm is an additional accessory. Had a accessory bar, which is accessory as well. But yeah, I was using this one to power up my UV light to showcase my tungsten jigs. So it's just it's very universal. Some people are like, oh, I have no use for this front panel, but I've been using the USB all weekend long, so you never know when you're going to need it. So
yeah, and actually I use these shuttles myself on my Helix, and it's worked out extremely well being able to add the different accessories. the battery hold down, the rod holders, the ice defense holder, and all that stuff. So it's a very versatile, build it as you need it, customizable shuttle. Right there. There you go. Yeah.
This is the ice defense holder.
Oh yeah. So and as far as like colors on the shuttles, have you switched only to the metal sides now, or can you still get the plastic?
Just all metal sides now. We keep it raw because you can still paint it or do whatever you want to do with it. Color wise, we may offer like a black next year, or maybe even customized colors depending on how our production goes for next year. But for now, they're all going to be the raw aluminum color, just to kind of let other people do what they want to do with it.
Okay. Yeah. No, we got people saying that they love the fact they're made out of aluminum now. The strength, the durability, just increased, but still super thin, lightweight. You can still add stuff onto it. That's my favorite part, is that customizable factor to this, because not everybody wants it set up the same exact way.
Right. Yeah. So, and then also, I think last year or for the past 2 years, I had 2 different sizes. It's all one size this year, just so that some people ask, too many people ask, but why do I need a small one? Why do I need a big one? So this year we kind of just streamlined it and made it all one size. And so just to kind of cut down on people's decisions making.
Yeah. What's the pricing?
Oh yeah. So for a plain one like this, is $60.
Okay.
So for those that just wants to run like a super lightweight Helix 5 with like a 6 amp battery, this is probably like 5 pounds. That runs $60. And then for one with the power box, it's only $110. So it's only $10 difference from last year. So not too bad.
That basic one, hold it up, because that's got my favorite the one with
the Helix 5. Yeah.
All right. My favorite accessory is right there on the side. That cable management system is the greatest product that I've ever bought.
Yeah.
It is so nice. Other than trying to wrap it around some random thing. So
yeah, like wrapping it around this. Like this one, I didn't install this one yet, so it's just kind of loose around the unit and everything. So it is very, very nice.
I got a quick question for you, sir. Can you take and retrofit an existing shuttle?
I'm sorry?
Like, I've got one of the original 3D printed ones, and could I upgrade to the aluminum sides?
Oh, yes. Yeah. That's something that we are providing to those that have bought for previous shuttles. It's only $25 for the 2 sides. And everything will swap over. So yeah, it's very easy and simple.
Nice. Perfect. Nice. I have some ideas for those sides. You want to talk about customized colors? I've got some cool ideas in mind. All right, G, I know you're at the show. The show is now open. I don't want to keep you from selling stuff. Can you keep joining us? Everybody check it out. BassKhange. He's got an actual brick and mortar in Osseo, Minnesota, so you can stop in and check that out as well. G, have a great, successful season. I'm sure I'll see you in St. Paul, correct?
Yeah, Blaine first, and then we'll be in St. Paul.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, you guys.
All right.
God, just super impressive stuff, man.
Yep. I would have loved to have him on longer, but like I said, I didn't want to keep him from actually selling stuff, and it was a little loud there. Yeah. So,
well, that's cool that I can retrograde or upgrade my existing shuttle. That's awesome.
When I was talking about like customizing that, find somebody that does different anodizing, hydro dipping,
laser
painting,
engraving,
laser. Oh, okay. I gotta stop doing this show because I just turned $25 parts into who knows how much. Yeah,
little SDO logo on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
There might be a guy that's close to you too that also has a 3D printer. So if you ever come up with something
close to me, you're 4 hours away.
I'm sitting here right now, ain't I?
Yeah, where's your 3D printer?
It's at home.
3 hours away. No, I get it. No, it's but yeah, from my favorite part of that BassKhange shuttle, skip the the colors and this and that and the other, is the customization. The different parts that cord management system on its own is literally worth buying just that part from him and drilling it into whatever other thing you have. It's fantastic. But having a couple rod holders on there, I think mine's got rod holders on there. It's got that cord management system. It's got the ice defense holder. It's got the transducer holder. It's got a battery hold down, bar, so the battery doesn't flop at all. You can really tighten it down, and just being able to move things around it like an erector. It's an erector set, literally, and
just genius.
Yeah, it was like a great idea. And now you're starting to. There are some other companies that are doing similar things.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
so it always takes one, and then people are like, "Hey, yeah."
He's the Elon Musk of ice fishing.
Yeah. Jason's wondering which helix I have. I have the 7. I started out with the 5 for ice fishing, and I went to the 7 for the bigger screens. 2 reasons. One, when you're staying on a little screen, it's tough to stare at that thing all day. When I went to the 5, it was an immediate eye relief. But 2 was so I could have GPS and my sonar or whatever on there at the same time if I wanted to, or just blow up that GPS. And being able to zoom in on it to really see things bigger. So they might still make a 5. I'm not sure. They still got the 7. As Alan's going,
5 for
with
what?
his glasses, the Helix Ice version. They probably still make a 5, but I went 7, and then I also can take that and use it in my boat.
Yeah, I have a 5 on my boat that I just bought this year. It's not an ice. It's just a Helix 5.
Yeah. So, I can use it on my boat, have it big enough so when I'm looking at the map in the boat, when I'm standing, over it, I have it on the front. But I went with the 7. It's a personal thing. It doesn't really matter what size you go with as long as it fits your needs. You can't go wrong either way. Do they make an ice deucer for the Helix 5? Yeah. It's basically this. It's the same deucer, the 5 and the 7. Yeah, you should be. I'm pretty sure they make a Helix 5 ice pack. I know they make the all-season pack in a 7. They might make it in a 5, which actually then the all-season comes with a boat transducer. So this was one of my complaints with it. I'm like, hey, just throw in the extra deucer, charge me more, so then I can take it and use it at my boat. And then 3 or 4 or 5 years later, they finally did it. I can't find it anywhere. Give Thorn Brothers here a call. Call them and ask them. And if they don't, maybe they can get it. If Humminbird makes it, they can more than likely get it. So give them a call here at the shop. They're open 10 o'clock. Give them a call and have them search it down. They can let you know if they can or cannot and how much it would be and all that good stuff. So, and then you can pay over the phone and they can ship it straight to you. Mm-hmm. They make an ice deucer, but super hard to find. Actually finding the ice deucer separate might be tough to find, but they would make the 5 that comes with the ice deucer. Yeah. Yes, sir. Speaking of sponsors, thanks, Thorn Brothers. Thank you, Clam Outdoors. Thank you, Glacier Ice Houses. We're out of fun facts.
Glacier.
Have you thought of a new one?
Well, let's see. New, not last.
What kind of wood last year? What kind of wood is in the houses? What do they line them things with?
Oh, it's all 16 on center, 2x3 house construction. So they're built. They're heavy. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. All of our frames have what is called dragon hide on them. It's almost like a rhino lining, but like rhino lining on steroids.
Okay.
It's extremely tough, which has been a really nice feature.
Nice.
Yep.
Durability, moisture resistance. Yep. Rot resistance.
And then another new feature that came this year is on our hydraulic models. We have an external charge jump port for the battery that runs your hydraulic system.
Nice.
So, if you didn't, something happens and you need a quick jump, you don't have to run cables through the house and or through cabinets and stuff. You can just clip on this external port on the outside.
Very good.
On the hydraulic models. Yep.
Thank you. Well, thank you to Glacier for sponsoring. Yeah. Let's see here. Utah Mike. I went from a 5-inch to a 7-inch. Now I want a 9 or a 12. Well, I'm trying to figure out
that's how it goes.
Without drilling into my truck, the inside of my truck somewhere. I want to take my 12-inch summer unit and use that for GPS when I'm out driving around. So I got to figure out the RAM, I mean, I know it's going to take a RAM mount, but I'm trying to figure out a good way to not drill into my truck. My truck is still good enough where I don't want to drill into the thing.
Guys, they do make roll-up OLED screens now, and I mean, we're going to get to that point. Be like, I got 65 inches up in here.
Yeah,
roll it up.
I mean, I could probably figure out a way to hook these 24s up.
Jeez,
these monitors we have on the side here. I mean, we've got like a 70-inch over
Jeremy
here.
Did it in his pop-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah, he went out and just bought a cheap TV and hooked it up. I mean, it's just HDMI. So
yeah.
Yep. Let's see. We've been looking at wheelhouses, and the fit and finish on Glacier is great. Yeah, I mean, they're super clean, super well done. I mean, they're laid out nice. Glacier makes a really nice house. I mean, there's not many bad houses on the market. It's just Glacier makes a very nice house. You can definitely see the attention to detail. So without being crazy prices, like I'm sure you can go find way nicer, in quotation marks, customized, fancy stuff all over the place houses, but you're also going to pay for it. I got a buddy that he does that. That's one of the things he does is he customizes the inside.
And just like everything else, the prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Just because lumber,
material cost. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And our supply stuff is way better than it has been.
Yep.
Like I said, and that's been a common theme too. We weren't, immune to that whole, coronavirus stuff, there were moments where it's like, oh boy, we're going to have to fire up a lumber mill out back.
Yeah.
I mean, you start looking at those trees. You're like, do we really need that?
Right. I mean, you jump into a Glacier and you go, man, this is nice. And it's not like, well, I wish it did this and I wish it looked like that. And I got to change it. It's like, no, you hop into a Glacier and it's just nice.
Yeah. We have a very, very stringent, quality assurance check before each house leaves.
Nice.
Each plant. Yep. They're inspected like 3 times before they hit the dealer.
Perfect.
Yep.
Jeanette, I'm trying to watch from work and customers keep interrupting me. Well,
Rude.
make them watch.
Yeah. Rude.
Tell them, excuse me, have you ever seen this?
Priorities.
Yeah. What's going on here? All right. We're going to bring Blake in whenever he comes back around to the camera. We're going to talk St. Croix rods. Blake.
Hey, Blake.
You take yourself off mute.
How's it going, guys?
What a rookie. Yeah, no, it's awesome. All right, we're talking St. Croix rods. Once again, we've changed hats.
I am.
So,
gotta have a hat on for the job, I guess.
Yeah, St. Croix, the supply, everything cool there. I mean, I know it's all pretty much built in-house, so...
Yep. So for people that don't know, there's the factory north, which is in Park Falls, Wisconsin, and basically all of your high-end stuff is made there. And then there's a factory south, which is in Fresnillo, Mexico, so still made in North America, and that's where a lot of your lower item stuff is made, like kind of your Triumphs,
the base models.
Yes, the really base models. That's where all that stuff is made. Warranty applies. It's basically, if you were to see the factory side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference from the inside. All the processes, everything is exactly the same. There's just a factory north and a factory south. And the reason that's done is basically to keep prices where they're at for those base models.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, understandable.
Yep. A lot of the stuff we'll be talking about is made up in Park Falls. Like I said, there is a handful that are made in Fresnillo. So we'll talk kind of, I guess let's go right into the newest model. We have a brand new model this year. It's called Scandic.
Yep. And we got plenty of time, so take your time, break everything down, get nerdy if you want. So have at her.
Perfect. We got lots of rods to talk about. So that new Scandic series, there's 12 models in that lineup. They range from 24 inches to 36. And then on the power side of things, they range from ultralight to heavy. 10 spinning and 2 casting. So we have a couple of these. So this is kind of an up-close look. It's a very simple design. I'm a huge fan of the green blank and the green trim there. I think it looks really
good. That's a different color. That's
Patrick and I have been drooling over every time we walk in Thorn here. That's like it's like the first.
Yeah,
it's the first rods you like walk by, and they catch our eye every time. I don't think we've made a comment on them yet while walking by. Really sharp.
So all of them have what's called a precision tape or carbon blink. So all of the rods in this line are carbon based. There is no glass ones in this lineup, but there is options from basically panfish all the way up to lake trout or big pike. Like I said, ultralight all the way to heavy. On the panfish models, you'll see kind of that bright orange tip. And then there is technically 4 different handle configurations. The ones that have cork, they have this new cork that's called agglomerated cork. So the difference between this cork and your standard cork is that this is like extremely durable cork. So it's actually, my understanding is it's basically like cork dust that's, formed together. So that's why it's called agglomerated cork, and it's super durable. I ran this last year with a lot of the corks on the market. You don't want to do things like put electrical tape directly to the cork because it peels off. I had 0 issues with that. Typically, I'm using other tapes and things to make sure I'm not damaging the cork. But when I had a chance to test these, I figured just use electrical tape and see how they hold up. I had no issues with that. On the panfish models, it's that split grip configuration.
Okay, so real quick with that cork. So we'll just, for maybe this is a terrible example. Mm-hmm. So cork itself, we'll say, is like river rock, a bigger rock, just kind of held together. Where this is like sand, so there's less air space. Correct. There's less space in between it, so it's a denser, harder material, but it's still cork.
Yes, it's water resistant too, which is a plus there, and then it's just way more durable than regular cork.
Okay.
You can get wet. You don't have to worry about, I'm sure we've all had those handles where the cork is just falling apart because it's been wet, or you put up your wet ice rods into a box and they just sit, and you're not going to have that same issue with these. So like I said, on the panfish models, you're going to see that split grip configuration. And then on a handful of other models, you'll see this full cork. This would be more of kind of your walleye centric. Rods are going to have that. There is a couple of the heavier options that feature like this soft touch reel seat. So for the guys that like to have that, maybe you're fishing for trout or pike or big walleyes, and that's going to be secure. You're not relying on tape.
Yeah. That's exactly what I do with the bigger, heavier baits, bigger fish rods. I love a good screw down, lock down reel seat. It's just a confidence thing. I've never had a problem with tape, but for me, it's just a confidence thing.
Big predator rod like that, and you don't need the sensitivity.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you don't need to feel. You'll feel it when they pull.
Yeah. And then on the 2 casting models, that's what the reel seat looks like. So these are definitely more lake trout oriented. Big bite oriented models.
I was just gonna say, I understand it, but for those at home, you go bait caster. Like, is this an open water bass fishing rod? But a lot of people fishing big lake trout, big pike, they put bait casters on an ice fishing reel because you're dealing with big, heavy fish that need a good, a lot of power behind it.
Mm-hmm. And and that's real advantage to that.
Yep.
One of the favorite parts to me of this new lineup is the guide platform. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but you can see it's kind of that oval shaped, more like a triangle oval shape than your standard guides. And these are what are called Delta guides. And the thought process behind these, why they're better than standard guides, is because they allow for faster line flow with light lines. So they put these on a couple of their open water rods this year, the Avid Series panfish in particular, and I use a lot of micro braids, and the casting distance, the line flow with these guys is absolutely insane. It's at least 1.5 times in terms of casting. So on the ice, obviously you're using really light lines, light fluorocarbons, light monos, light braids at times. The line flow with these guides is far superior than any other guides I've used in the past.
Do you, or maybe Patrick, do either of you know why that works that way with those? Because I've never heard of that kind of guide before.
I would be willing to. Oh, go ahead, Blake. I'll see you.
Yeah, when you watch braid go off, or line go off of a reel, it actually doesn't spin in a perfect circle.
Yeah.
This is more the way it spins as it's coming off of the reel. So that's why with these guides, it adds for a better line flow. Basically, you're not slowing it down with a different shape.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I've just never seen those guides or heard of them.
Yeah, he got it exactly right.
Okay.
That's the first time I had seen them was 2 years ago. And like I said, in that Avid Series Panfish, that open water series, it's absolutely insane how much further you can cast. And it's only with lighter lines. So like if you were to try to use,
you're not going to see this on a 7.2 medium heavy throwing crankbaits.
No, correct. It's not going to have the same impact, but with those lighter lines, it makes a huge difference.
Okay.
So the Scandic series, like I said, this is branding for this year, has a 5-year warranty, which is a huge deal in terms of ice rods. And then they range from 75 to 110. So Perfect. It's kind of an in-between model between Tundra, which we came out with last year, and then like the Mojo line. It feels like you're fishing with a super high-end rod, but it's in that 75 to 110 class. Next, let's move on to Tundra, unless you guys have any other questions about Scandic.
Nope.
I'll move some of these here.
As far as reels, Mason, it depends on what technique you're using, what
personal preference,
inline spinning, whatever you're used to. It's wide open. Some guys love inline. I'm a big inline guy, but there's also times where spinning works better. So it's really up to you. We can give you suggestions if you want to ask us, and we'll answer them after this as far as, what setup or whatever, but we'll give you our best thing. But, Dale's using a $4 reel for tight lining. So reels are a huge personal preference thing.
They are. Yep. So Tundra, this is the series that was added last year. There's 9 different models in this. And then the difference between this and Scandic is that there's 2 different blank materials. So there's glass, and then there's that precision taper carbon as well. So on the glass side of things, this is in the 3 panfish models. The panfish models are all extra fast actions, and then they all have that high vis orange tip. The longer I fish, the longer I've realized that I like that orange tip better than any other color against the snow.
Yep.
Nice. I think that really is advantageous.
I had Alan build me a one with a green tip once, and over time I realized I can't see the tip against white snow. So the next one, that was the one that I broke. So the next time he built it, I'm like, hey, change it to orange.
Yeah, see, I'm just the opposite. I'd love to see noodles with just black.
Yeah, and black works too. Yeah,
black on white.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little contrast, I guess. If you have, I like having the tip to be slightly different than the blank itself. But definitely straight black works as well. The precision taper, more like the walleye centric game fish models, those don't have that high vis orange tip. And then they have that precision taper solid carbon blank. So it's more of kind of your feel style rod. Glass rods are going to be more of you're seeing the bite. And carbon rods are going to be more of kind of the feel. Obviously, you're going to feel and see both depending on the situation, but to dumb it down as much as possible. That's kind of the main difference there. All of the rods, they have one recoil guide, and then all the stripper guide or the running guides are all stainless steel. So those do not have a lot of ice buildup. And then the tip top guide, I don't know how well you can see that. That's coated with a PVD coating. So that just prevents ice up as well. Nice. 5-year warranty on these. Basically, the thought process behind these was they were designed after the Croix Custom Ice, kind of the highest end series, just brought down to a lower price point. So these are 100 to 130. So a little bit higher than that Scandic line, and definitely a little bit lower than that CCI line.
Yep.
So next in the lineup is, I guess, my personal favorite. That's the Croix Custom Ice. These were launched in 2018. Everything was done right at Park Falls, Wisconsin. Basically, St. Croix brought in, some of the best ice fishermen that I know. Guys like Tony Roach and Joel Nelson. They were a huge part of designing the CCI lineup. the whole thought process behind the line is everything is very technique specific. So, similar to open water rods, you're not going to use your top water rod for fishing for walleyes, like throwing a jig and a minnow. It's everything in this lineup is very technique specific. There are a handful of rods that work well for a wide variety of things, but technique specific is kind of the name of the game. There's 16 rods in the lineup. We'll kind of go through some of the different ones, and there's several different blank configurations here, unlike the other models that are either solid glass, solid carbon. This has a whole blend of features. So there's some rods that are solid carbon, some that are solid glass, some that are tubular carbon, and then some that are tubular carbon glass blend. And then there's one rod that we'll talk about, and that's a tubular carbon fused to glass. And that is the dead stick rod, the dead eye in the CCI. And according to the engineers at St. Croix, this was one of the most challenging rods they've ever had to build. Something that's never been done before, combining all those materials in that way. And so we'll show that off here a little bit.
And here's the thing with St. Croix, they've got all these different rods, right? All these different configurations and this and that and the other. And that being that they build this stuff and design this stuff in-house helps with that.
Yeah, it's a different scenario than a lot of companies. I mean,
yep.
If you have the opportunity to go tour the St. Croix Rod Factory, I would really recommend it. I just took the tour last year, and it's insane the way that all of this stuff is made. Like, it's not just like any other rod. I mean, seeing how they roll their own blanks. I mean, they're doing it all in-house. They're not buying blanks from somewhere else and combining them. This is St. Croix's making all of these themselves.
Yep.
So this is that dead eye, the tubular carbon fused to glass. So as you can see, that tip is glass. And then it's tubular carbon back here. So that tubular, what that does is that basically cuts down on weight, but that glass gives it that tip. So this is a dead stick rod specifically designed for dead stick fishing walleyes. Basically what you're able to do is just that fish is able to take that, not feel any resistance, and then you can drive the hook home. Yep. Combine that with a bait feeder style reel, and that's a pretty deadly combo there.
Yep. And if you get a fish that starts bending that fiberglass, you got a good one.
Yes. Yep. So then this was a new one last year. This is the Pan Dancer. This is a 32-inch light, extra fast. So it does have kind of a high vis tip there, just that little high vis green there. Designed to be extra fast action. This is a solid glass. We will see some similarities along the line. This is like that. Compare these two models here. This is the Tungsten Tamer, and this is the Pan Dancer. This is a 32-inch light extra fast. This is a 32-inch medium light extra fast. Same power or same action. They're designed to fish similar style of baits, but this Pan Dancer is more for your really light stuff, your 2s, your 3s, your 4mm, or this Tungsten Tamer would be for stuff in maybe like that 5mm class. So like I said, everything is very, very specific. You can certainly fish other things on these, but they're designed to be very, very specific.
Yeah, and that's where, I mean, we're not talking, go out and just buy a fishing rod. Oh, I need a panfish rod. Okay, well, this is a whole nother thing. Like, okay, what are you using for baits, to get that feel down and that control down and fighting the fish and everything. So, yeah, this lineup is definitely not your average fishing rod.
That's a very good way to put it. Some other rods kind of in that panfish line. This is the Perch Seeker. In my opinion, they did themselves a little harm by naming it the Perch Seeker because this is a fantastic crappie rod. This is one of my favorite models. And for you, Dale, this is my favorite trout rod too. It's a medium light extra fast. And one thing with St. Croix is a medium light in a walleye rod is not the same thing as a medium light in a panfish rod. So you need to take that into consideration. I definitely recommend looking at these rods. This is rated as a medium light power, but that is not the same as a medium light power in the walleye spectrum.
Is that carbon or glass?
This is a combination of the two.
Oh, that's that combo. Okay.
Yep. So that's a combination of the two. Some other rods.
No, the way those trout fight, there's a lot of bouncing.
Yeah.
You'd think glass would really help you not lose as many fish.
Yep.
This is a good blend that helps with that, but you also get that feel that you don't necessarily have with straight glass.
Sure.
Yeah. What was the name of that one again, Blake?
That's the Perch Seeker.
Perch Seeker.
Seeker. That went in his notepad, so that's gonna.
Yeah.
Right. He's currently writing it down, and he's only saving his notepad for sketches and fly fishing stuff. So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. That's it. If I could pick two out of the entire lineup, like to take with me for panfish, it would be a pan dancer and a perch seeker, and that would cover every panfish application across the board. Like I said, the rods are very specific, but there is a handful of rods that do a lot of things well, like that perch seeker. We do have a number of different spoon options, like spoon-oriented rods in the line. But that perch seeker is really a fantastic, like panfish spoon rod too. Does well with those Z-vibers I talked about before. It's just a kind of a great all-around rod. You could fish heavier tungsten on there. It's a similar specs to that tungsten tamer, which is a 28 medium light extra fast. Some other rods we'll talk about here. These were two other ones that were newer in the last couple of years. This is the house rod. Joel Nelson had a big part in designing this one. He's a big wheelhouse angler these days. And this rod is kind of designed to be a good all-around rod. It's rated as a medium extra fast, but it has a relatively soft tip. So the advantage to this is you could use it for anything from bigger crappies or perch to walleyes. But it's really designed to be fished inside of a hard house. It has that full cork handle, so it can sit in a rod holder, which for a lot of people in a wheelhouse, they tend to set rods down in a rod holder. And then you can customize basically exactly where you want to put your reel there. Another one, this is Tony Roach had a big role in designing this one. This is the iRazor. And this is kind of a great all-around walleye rod. If I was going to pick one to fish with, particularly outside of a shack, it would be this. This is a 38-inch medium extra fast. And then it does have that actual reel seat there as well. And the reason for that is if you're running into bigger fish, it's nice to have that reel seat versus relying on something like tape. Let's see what else we got here. Some other examples. I mean, there's rods all the way from, like I said, there's rods all the way from kind of that 20-inch class. There's, sight fishing rods all the way up to what's the Apex Predator, which is a 48-inch. So for guys that are targeting trophy lake trout, trophy pike, that's, some of that kind of stuff. This is the trophy taker. This is kind of a very, like a big walleye. Like when I went to Winnipeg, this is the rod that I took with me and used primarily the entire time. It's a 36-inch medium heavy fast. There's spoon specific rods. This is a search bait specific rod. So if you fish Z-vibers or ripping wraps or jigging wraps, this is kind of the rod for you.
Which one's that one?
That's the search bait.
Okay. And I got to stop asking the name of these things. Well, what's a dead stick called? Or a rod called dead stick? What's the search bait rod called? Search bait. I always ask the name of it when that's what it's called.
The spoon rod is called deep spoon. So there you go.
All right. Well, at least it's a little different. Deep spoon. So
yeah, and then there's a micro spoon. All of the CCIs or the Core Custom Ice feature recoil guides. So those recoil guides, if you haven't used them, you can snap them, break free of ice. They're just fantastic for ice fishing. All of the CCIs have a 5-year warranty. Like I said, they're all made in Park Falls, Wisconsin. Price point on those is $130 to, I think the highest end ones are $170 now. So they went up a little bit in price there. Any questions on the CCI stuff before we move on?
Nope. We do have a question. Does St. Croix sell their blanks anymore?
No.
They do. Yep, they do. It's through a company called Rod Geeks.
Oh, yes.
Rod Geeks. Okay.
So, and I don't know if they have every model, but there is a lot of different ones that are sold through Rod Geeks.
They got that new green one?
I don't know if they have this.
Alan.
Alan's here, and he did throw up the money sign. So you're not going to buy them cheap. They're not going to be cheap like Mudhole. So you're gonna spend some money on them. But
St. Croix blanks, so it's you're not going to be, these are made in the USA blanks here, which is not a thing that you can find very easily.
I don't know that anybody, if they're interested in a true custom rod, is like
that worried about the price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people, there's cheap skates everywhere, but it's like once you kind of step into that actual custom, like legit custom, not just buying a pre-made one from a custom maker, which even those aren't cheap, but like true, this is how I want this to look, this blank, these guides, this seat, this thread, whatever. I don't think price is like top of their list.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And St. Croix, I mean, how many guys have had custom rods made with a St. Croix blank before? And St. Croix is such a big name. They've been around forever. Everybody knows them. So many people use them. They know that they're proven blanks.
Right.
And they'll pay for them. So I'm sure one of the rods you built me is probably a St. Croix blank, Alan. Well, I mean, you don't make your blanks like most custom. Oh, actually, never mind. You do have two. That's right. So, but all right, let's go on.
So we will talk about kind of the lower end stuff now. This is a Premier Ice Combo. This is probably the best entry level product that St. Croix has, especially if you want to buy something that has a reel already. So this is a St. Croix Premier Ice Combo reel. So this is a reel made just for them. There's 5 different models in this. It just has that standard NPS reel seat. If you're looking for kind of that entry level basic ice rod, you're looking for something that can do a lot of different things, I would point you towards the Premier Ice Combos. The retail on these is, I believe, $60 to $75, and that's with the reel.
Yeah.
So you're getting that St. Croix at kind of a budget-friendly price. There is some that have, I believe there's, actually, no, I'm wrong on that. I think they all have the NPS reel seat, and then they have that reel made specifically for these. And then there is.
Hey, I got a question from Lewis, but I gotta get him to actually answer this question first. Lewis, what technique or fish are you trying to go after? He's asking what the longest rod St. Croix offers. Are you looking for a big fish? Are you looking for a panfish? What rod are you looking, or what species are you looking to chase? And then we'll answer that question.
Yes.
Go ahead, Blake.
And then kind of the last one to round out the ice lineup is the Mojo Ice. So this is more of that budget-friendly price as well. This one does not come with a reel. These were redesigned, I believe, 3 years ago. They have kind of this new finish. And then this new reel seat here, that's a proprietary St. Croix seat, so you're not going to see that in anything else. Similar to, like, if you look at like the high-end, like the Legend Elites, Legend Tournament on the open water side, you have that where you can actually touch the blank and feel that. That's the same kind of concept here with ice. So it gives you the ability to pistol grip and still touch the blank. You can overhand, however you want to fish. Gives you the opportunity to still touch that blank. It's all foam on these. These have just a 1-year warranty, and they range, I believe, $60 to $75.
Okay. All right. He's looking at perch, walleye. That's what he's looking at. So what's the longest?
Perch, walleye. There's 36 inchers. That would be something that'd be good for both. There's a 36-inch medium light fast. I can't remember what the name is on that in the CCI lineup. Otherwise, there's a 38 medium extra fast. That's that eye razor. And that you definitely could fish perch on that too, but it's more of a walleye centric rod. I mean, it has a slightly softer tip, but it's a medium power. If you're going to fish both, I would probably opt for a medium light fast versus a medium. That's my personal preference, I guess. So you would be at a 36.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yep. All right. 36 is in the Scandic series. There's 36s in the Tundra. And then for lake trout, they have that 48 incher and then some 36s and 38s in the CCIs.
Perfect. All right.
That's kind of a quick summary, I guess, of all of the rods. Is there any questions that I can answer?
No, I think everybody, St. Croix, it's one of those things where everybody kind of knows,
Yep.
So I think the biggest thing is in the CCI lineup is just really finding, that's that specific technique that you're looking at using and getting a rod for.
Right. That it really is. I mean, it's, for somebody who's just getting into ice fishing, I definitely wouldn't point them towards the CCI lineup, but for somebody who's been around, has been doing this for a long time, just like open water fishing, you want the best tool for the job. And the only way to do that is to have very technique specific tools. If you're going to try to put a screw into the wall, you're not going to use a hammer. I mean, you could get it in there, of course, but
you can.
I mean, I would never do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is one of those things, I mean, I've been fishing for a long time and I just started getting more specific with my setups, open water, for example, a drop shot rod is, I have found a drop shot rod that I really, really like for drop shot fishing because it bends a certain way. I can feel it a certain way, this, that, and the other. A deep cranking rod versus just a crank rod. I like a shorter rod for when I'm really in tight flipping and pitching jigs, or a longer rod if I'm throwing a swim jig, something like that. So same thing with ice fishing.
yeah.
I
We'll look at it.
big rattle baits versus a glide bait. There is a difference between whether or not a rod will work for both or get one
you
for
can
each kind of
get
thing.
as specific or as broad as you want.
Yep.
You can.
Yep.
And that's
we got Mitch Heil, who's sitting right there next to us, or across from us. Aside from going the custom rod route, if I'm going to buy an off-the-shelf rod, it will be a St. Croix. That a boy. And then the warranties again. Go ahead and run through the warranties.
So on the Scandic, the Tundra CCI, those are 5-year warranties, which I don't know anybody else who has a 5-year warranty in the ice rod game. And then for Mojo and Premier Ice, those are 1 year.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
That'll work. If anybody else has any questions, throw them in the comments. Anything else from St. Croix?
No. Open water side, there's a lot of new stuff this year. I think there's 12 new series this year. Redesigned the Legend Tournament Walleye, Legend Tournament Bass, Legend Tournament Muskie, Legend Tournament Inshore. There's a brand new Avid Walleye series, Avid Panfish series, saltwater rods.
Would it be that perch seeker that you would pair up with then that Z-Viber we were talking about earlier?
Correct. Yep, that's what I'm fishing with. That I use for reels. It's the Daiwa 750s. I think it's the
QZ.
QR on there.
QR, QZ. Yep.
Yeah. And then 3-pound line, and it works great for both trout and crappies.
Yep. August is just walking in, watching lake trout rod.
So if you want that highest end CCI, there is an Apex Predator. That's a 48-inch. Otherwise, in the new Scandic series, there's 2 casting models. There's a medium heavy and a heavy, and then there is a medium heavy if you want spinning too.
That's a good. So yeah, I'm new to all this. What's your preference when fishing for big lakers? You going with the bait caster or are you going with the spinning?
Asking me, I've never fished for lakers through the ice.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
Well, another part of that question is that there's like lakers in Minnesota and stuff, and then there's Great Slave.
Right. Well, yeah, there's like, you're going to the little Lakers, or you're going for a 30-pounder, or more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. So, that medium heavy probably do you just fine around the Ely area.
Yeah,
for sure.
If you're going for big, giant, what you see on YouTube Lakers.
Yeah.
That's when you start looking
I'm not
at
saying that those don't exist around there, but, you'll be able to handle it.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, if that's everything we got from St. Croix, appreciate it, Blake. Hardest working man on a Sunday morning.
I guess.
Now you can go put your dad hat on and spend some time with the family. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much for joining us again.
Yeah.
See you, Blake.
Thanks, Blake.
All right.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. I bought my first St. Croix rod like 33 years ago or so.
Yeah.
It was my very first paycheck.
I still got one of those Premier. If anybody's wondering about the Premier, it's a cheap little rod. I still got a Premier. It's a walleye. It's like a 30 or 32 inch or whatever it is. It's a shorter walleye. I've gone more to the longer 36 inches and beyond now, just for head shakes because I catch giant fish. Right, Alan? Yeah, here we go. Anyway, but the Premier, it's still a great
10-year story.
It's still a good rod. I still break it out every once in a while. So if you're looking to get into it, if you're a beginner or don't have the budget for an more expensive rod, Premier's still a great rod.
St. Croix was the gateway drug for me as far as like refining my ice fishing. It was the first rod I bought that had a spring bobber on it. And that's where I really started. I mean, literally, that's like where I started just not sitting on a bucket and what bites. That's when I really, downsizing and more finesse fishing and detecting those light bites. And that was the turning point, and that led me down. And now I fish tournaments. So.
Yep. August Kishler in the building. Yeah, he's here. He's here. And if you want to come up here and win this Kishler custom rod, it's the 34-inch power noodle. All you got to do is come on into Thorne Brothers. They close at 5 o'clock, about the same time we wrap up the show. Put your name and your number in the bucket.
Yeah, really good chance right now.
Really good chance, yeah. I mean, we weren't expecting tons of people. We didn't know if anybody would show up. We've had a couple people show up. So, the camera does not do this rod justice. Orange, brown,
it's
gold.
Beautiful.
Very classy. He even threw our logos on it on the handle here. So thank you very much, Alan, for doing this.
Thank you, Alan.
We do have another rod that we have another rod that we're giving away to you at home. So share the live stream. You can win that. You can win some gift cards, Horn Dog Maps, a $250 gift card.
Dude, that's legit.
Mitch, thank you very much. He's still here watching. That's awesome.
I love
and he
these
has a
gold
discount
pilots.
code, 20% off by using SmackDown. Do what now? You're winning no, you're not. Run through some of the other discount code, SmackDown discount codes quick so people know at home.
Oh my gosh. Well, Horn Dog Maps 20%, P3 15, Catch Cover 20%, Black Hole Ice is SmackDown 2022 with 20%, Rapid Power Box 10%, Widowmaker 20%, Catch Cover 20%.
Catch Cover's discount code is Catch Cover or SmackDown 20.
Yep. Sven Sleeves 10%, Undercover Guide 10%, Deep Freeze 10%, Cold Nation 20%. Seasons Tackle's got a giveaway.
Yep.
Norfin 10%, Horn Dog Maps we've covered, and Euro Tackle with 10%.
Yep. Yeah, the only two different discount codes is Catch Cover, that's SmackDown 20. And then the Black Hole, everything on their website except for the shacks. They're not giving the shacks away, but that's SmackDown 2022.
Just try all three if you're checking out.
So throw in SmackDown anywhere that you might buy something. Use that as a discount code.
Yeah, maybe it goes
see
through.
if it works. Some close out tonight. Some go through like Friday. Some go. I think one or two go through next weekend. So if you're thinking about buying anything, throw it in tonight. And get a discount. So, and we greatly appreciate these companies that are doing discounts because the last couple of years, whether it's been supply chain or the simple fact that people are just buying because they're spending money like mad. If I was a company, you don't have to give out discounts. People are still buying stuff. So I do greatly appreciate everybody that is doing discount codes and giveaways and joining us. It's been an insane couple of years for the fishing and outdoors industry. A lot of companies, they didn't even have to go to shows because they sold out everything, or some didn't go to shows because they didn't have anything.
Right.
But it's just been such a wild couple of years because of this. Thank you to the vendors out there. And of course, thank you to you guys at home for watching, and ladies watching. It's been fantastic. Let's see here. We'll go through some of these. That's what I'm talking about. Don't think I'll make it in time for Milwaukee.
Should have planned better.
Catch a flight. We'll have Alan go pick you up at the airport.
There you go.
Mason, I would love a nice rod. Seasons Tackle is friggin' awesome.
Mason's
Good
only in Cambridge.
boxes.
That's you're not far. You can get here in time.
Yeah. Discounts Wales. Yes. Code on Cold Nation has expired. Has it? Okay. I'll shoot him a message and see if he can get that back opened up. Should have ran through this weekend. And August is laughing. All right. Quick thank you to our sponsors, Clam Outdoors. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything you do for not just us, but the entire ice fishing community. Thank you to Glacier Ice Houses for making a great house and supporting us. And then thank you, of course, to Thorn Brothers, where we're sitting in. We are done for the morning session. We will be back this afternoon, 1 p.m. We got a full lineup, and then we'll be we're going to wrap her up about 5 o'clock. So
Bikes should already be up about 3 touchdowns by then. So
you can
turn that off and watch us.
While you're watching the Vikings game up on the big screen, just turn us on the phone or a computer and watch it. So, all right. You guys got anything else for this morning? Anything else to say? Or
no, it's been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate everybody partaking.
I've been a lot of people are, and this is a total side note, but it's going to rattle my brain if I don't spit it out. Okay. It's going to bust out somewhere. But now that Canada has dropped the vaccine mandate for getting into their country, I bet a lot of people are going to be going up to Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
because that's been kind of on hold for a lot of people. Yeah, yep. And I just moved a lot closer to it. I just looked. I'm like 5.5 hours away from it. I'm like halfway there now. Let's go. I'll meet you. I'll meet you in the border crossing, Alan.
August, there's the Vikings plug. LOL. Lost about 40% of the viewers. No, we actually gained some.
Yeah.
Skol Vikings, let's win this game. Skol Vikings, honor thy name. Let's win let's get a first down. Let's get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. See you later, folks.
Yes.
1.